Hey everyone, this is Ricky with Spoiler Force Podcast, courtesy of Popluck Podcast. You can find more episodes of Spoiler Force Podcast on Apple Podcast, SoundCloud, YouTube, or on Facebook at facebook.com/popluckpodcast. Okay, we are live with Spoiler Force Podcast. My name is Ricky, and this is the 9th episode. I know that I mentioned that I was going to have a guest here for this episode specifically, but due to conflict scheduling and I misworded that. Scheduling conflicts. Because of scheduling conflicts, there's no for sure way if my guest was going to be on the show for sure. But thanks to my guest here with this last minute plan and always coming through. He's been helping me for a long time, and he's also been like doing some errands for me whenever I get like stuff in the mail. He's introduced me to podcasting actually, and whenever I need Batman lore information, he hooks me up with that too, because I'm not too familiar with like the beginnings of the entire Batman lore. So here's my guest, Andrew Lee from Popluck Podcast.
Yeah. I don't think I'm a complete expert on Batman. I just know enough.
Yeah. But definitely know more than I do, for sure. Certain like novels or like certain side books that I don't know. I'm always like, but did you ever read this one? Like
that's mainly what I read, just to kind of save money from reading everything else. You just gotta. I think that's a smart thing to do when you start out with comic books. Like you don't go grab everything on the shelves, because if you do, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You just gotta, alright, which one do I really, really want? So you just based on movies and shows you watch, alright, Batman.
Yeah.
Batman.
But you realize like Batman's always like the top one that everyone picks to read.
Yeah, because I mean it's I think they market themselves really well. I mean, not everyone has their own opinion on Batman, but
like an overall spectrum of Batman. Like
yeah, when you think of superheroes, you just think of like you don't. I get Marvel right now. It's with the movie, there's a movie hype, but then like when you think of just superhero in general, you think of Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman. Usually those three are like the main ones you think about.
Yeah.
Like you recognize their sign. Like, all right, Batman logo. Everyone recognizes Superman. People who necessarily don't read or watch or care about Superman knows what Superman is, just because it's.
Yeah, they're practically cultural icons. You don't even need to even grow up with them. You kind of just naturally know who they are based off their like symbol or their logo.
You can ask some jock in high school and they're like, "Oh, what is this?" Like, Batman, Superman.
That's usually like their first response to everything.
Yeah, so it's usually Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. Those are the three that people normally respond to, but now it's expanded, so.
Yeah. Before we continue on, I just want to just clear things up here. The stuff you can hear in the back, it's definitely live for sure. We have an audience in the back, so when you hear that, it's a more natural environment versus having a fixed setting. So, to continue on here, man, it's been a while since we've actually done podcasting together. Like, legit podcast, right?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've actually done podcasts in general. But yeah, it's been a while. We just got busy with our own schedules, and just stuff came up, different projects came up. Mark moved away, and I've just been, I'm getting ready to, saving up for a wedding, saving up for other things, just trying to get my life together, and just life.
Yeah, and speaking of your wedding, I saw your wedding pictures, and they turned out great. Like I saw it on the
Facebook. Just 2 pictures. I got a bunch of them, but
Crystal, or at least the ones I saw. Yeah. They turned out pretty good.
Yeah, Crystal was just like, don't post them yet. I'm like, okay.
And you recently got engaged back in like last Christmas, right?
Yeah, that's Christmas.
Yeah, for our new listeners and to our current listeners, they got engaged in Christmas last year. Where was that at? It was downtown.
Campus right? Martius. I honestly I didn't plan to do it on the holiday, but it's like, all right, well, I have the ring, and I didn't know exactly how to do it. And any way you think of doing it, it's cliche no matter what you do. So I'm like, all right, might as well just do the cliche thing, because no matter what I do, it's a cliche thing. Take her out to the place that you ate dinner the first time, cliche.
Yeah.
First anniversary, cliche. It's birthdays, anything.
It's a whole lovey-dovey thing. You're not escaping that cliche realm. You might as well just get over it and just do it, because unless you like come down from a fucking parachute or something.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of money. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So I mean, besides that, you're still working downtown and doing stuff with curriculums, right? I know that when we last recently spoke, you said you were like planning to switch teams or something like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to different and get into different positions. Not maybe not exactly with like Rock Connections, the one that you and I worked at. I need to get away from the phones and actually do something that I actually went to school for, and the position that they're thinking of trying to get me in is that deals with video and editing and all that stuff. So
Okay, that's good.
we'll see how things go. If not, then
I'm sorry to cut it off.
yeah. If things don't go well, then I'm on the phones for a bit longer, and I'll deal with it.
I mean, like you're still doing your stuff with Chin and Dao's
Yeah.
team too, right?
Yeah,
Clean Slate.
We meet every Tuesday. And you had Chin on the last podcast. That was actually Chin's very first podcast.
Yeah.
He actually did not know how podcasts ran until we always told him like, podcast is just a conversation. Doesn't really have to have exact certain topics. You guys can, but it's just people talking. But yeah, I still do things with them. We usually help out with the Royal Star Film Festival mixers, and whenever there's a client project, we're always doing something. We meet every Tuesday, so we're trying to stay active with the stuff that we do with film, and right now we have a client project that we're working on. We're trying to stay busy. My film's supposed to be coming out soon, and it's just a matter of client projects first.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it before you do
Your own self projects and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And speaking of self projects too, like you did your short film, the Green Will, right? With the with your wrestling team and all that.
Yeah, that's the one that it's been a year. We filmed it a year ago. It's I admit there was some slack. I've just kind of been a little bit lazy, but then getting back together and also adding additional footage to make things more satisfying. And we can't exactly have the same. We can't exactly do reshoots.
Right.
Oh, we can, but then that means we have to shoot the whole thing again, because like the time that we did do the little additional clips was like a year later. But then the school itself already changed in the ropes and
continuity
issues.
Yeah.
So we couldn't really. If we were to redo everything, we would have just had to done the whole thing, and that's
It's like one frame it's green ropes, and then the next frame it's like yellow, and then back to green.
Yeah, it's all white ropes now. Last time it was
Okay.
like red, white, and no, it was red, white, and blue. So yeah, so those are the ropes last time, and now it's just like all white. And like, okay, I mean we can technically change the rope colors again, just tape them around, but that takes forever, and also everyone looks different now too. So
Yeah. I mean, like, I remember when you started doing your whole, I guess, professional wrestling career. Like, it was years ago when you first did. Because, like, you got into it after when we were doing our amateur, not even amateur, but, like, backyard MMA
backyard
training.
MMA where,
Yeah. During those days, I felt so bad because, like, at the time you were a lot, like, scrawnier, right? So, I'm not saying that you're scrawny, but, like, you were much smaller than I am. Because I had, like, honestly, I had, like, a 40-pound advantage on you. So, when I hit you, I felt pretty bad.
I think around during that time, it's when everyone started to get into the MMA craze.
Yeah.
I mean, I got into because everyone else was getting into it, so I checked it out, and everyone was trying to do it. So I was like, all right, I'll try to do it too.
And no, but the thing was, like, even then there was no smaller weight classes yet, so like smaller guys didn't have any way to really train in that kind of sport. So like I think at the time when we were practicing, I think 155 was the smallest at the time before they brought in the 45ers and 35ers into the UFC.
Featherweights.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's what everyone kept saying, featherweight. So
Yeah.
I mean, me, it just wasn't for me, and I guess I still like MMA to a point. I don't know everybody. I don't know like you. I don't know and the stuff, but like what I really grew up with is wrestling, and
Yeah.
and I always loved the story dynamics of everything. I always liked the, there has to be a reason why we're fighting, even if it's like stupid, like.
Yeah, that's the thing too. I mean, like, I wasn't too big into wrestling. I knew like the mainstream stuff, like like honestly, like Stone Cold, The Rock, Goldberg. Those guys from the Attitude Era, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah. You could consider. I mean, Goldberg wasn't with them it's the Attitude Era, but Goldberg was with WCW, so it's
Oh,
like
okay.
you can't really,
Different company, right?
Yeah, different company, so you
Okay.
can't really. I mean, it's a time. Yeah, he was there at the time during that era of WWF, WWE, whatever you want to
Okay.
call it. But yeah, that was that era of wrestling.
Yeah, so like I mean, and you know, with a lot of comparisons between like mixed martial arts and wrestling, like actually, you know, we're learning the behind the scenes stuff from you, like learning what you guys gone through for training was actually more eye opening for me because like you know a lot of when you have two separate fans like that where the wrestling fans hate the MMA fans or the MMA fighters because they try to pretend to have some sort of mic skill and then it looks like really cringy and it comes off really bad and then it makes them look bad because now everyone's like how come like for example Conor McGregor is the biggest example of this like where why is he doing these WWE antics and then you know from your perspective you're like well that's not WWE because he's just being an asshole versus like the scripted lines and how the gimmicks work right in WWE.
See, the thing with that is they know what draws people in. Like, they don't like fans. Like some fans are, you know, smart enough. They understand, you know, oh yeah, they're just trying to get people hyped up about it. They're trying to sell tickets. They're trying to, you know, get numbers up. So that's why they do it. A lot of times they don't really. I mean, I won't say they don't mean necessarily what they say. It's just they're doing it because they know this is what will work. This is. If we don't do this, then if it's just okay, well, these two weigh the same, you know, these two are the same height, might be a good fight, but they want to add more of a spice to it, you know.
Yeah,
I mean?
with
Like,
the whole storyline.
yeah, it's like all right, well, you know, for example, I'm not. You might know this more than me, but like, I think for example of Ronda Rousey, I think I remember, wasn't the Ultimate Fighter? Wasn't she a coach?
Yeah,
and then she always had beef with
Misha
the
Tate.
other person. And
Yeah,
I don't know if you know maybe it might have been real or not, but they added. I think they added that whole dramatic thing because you wanted to see them fight even more every time you saw drama between them.
yeah, and you know at the time, I mean, their beef was real because like Ronda was the first person to like when she first came on the scene, she was you know from the Olympics. She was like I think 9-0 at the time, and she put her in an armbar in the first round. And then the second fight they fought, same thing happened again. So they had like this minor beef, and no one really saw that side of Ronda Rousey, right, where she was like just childish and petty, and you know just like cussing everyone out. So no one ever saw that side of her until the Ultimate Fighter, and that's when like everyone either loved her or everyone either hated her. But like you said though, they did bring that into the show because the original person that she was supposed to coach against, she had a knee injury, and then she had to get surgery on her knee. So they're like, why not bring in the person that she hates the most?
Yeah, and it's all tickets. I mean, that's with wrestling too. It's like you either you pay your ticket to see someone kick that person's ass,
Yeah,
or you pay them because you want
your person to win.
Yeah, you want to see your person win. So that's why, like for example, the Iron Sheik, or not the Iron Sheik, the original Sheik. All right, he is known to be one of the biggest heels in professional wrestling. You know, he's Sabu's grandfather, if I'm correct, uncle.
Okay.
He's known to be like the worst villain out there, and he carried himself like he was a real villain. So like you know, people used to throw garbage at them, and they used to actually have to get separate locker rooms for just also bring to show that side that they're, the good guys and bad guys can't be together. But fans would pay because they want they hated the Sheik, and they wanted to see someone beat up the Sheik. But every time they go, it's like all right, yes, the good guy's gonna finally. Oh wait, what the fuck? I mean, you can swear in this one, right? Okay.
No.
Yeah, I don't know swear, but it's like you're like, what the hell, man? Like I came to see the Sheik get his ass kicked, but he won again. Like, what the hell, man? What the heck? So yeah, that's the thing with I think with MMA and pro wrestling. Like nowadays, they're trying to work together, or everyone's adding elements from each other, take everything out, because they know what draws fans, and if there's heat, there's fans. I mean, like
in any sport, really, there's that kind of tension.
With anything. I mean,
it's
there's
gonna sell.
Even with the media, like with musicians, they do that. Yeah. Well, today's musicians, honestly, I don't get why they I don't get why there's beef with those people. But
you heard the Tom Cruise and Justin Bieber beef?
Yeah. And look, it got them attention, and it's good. I mean, it's what the markets everybody, and people are paying attention to them, and it works. It's marketing. I mean, it's good publicity, bad publicity. It's still publicity.
Yeah, and what I give wrestling, professional wrestling, a lot of credit is like they're excellent at marketing their material. Like even to wrestlers too, where you don't like them or they're, what was it? What's the term you guys use? Like they're green, right? They're new.
Well, the green is more of if you're a rookie. That's
Rookie,
I mean,
okay.
I think that's I think right now is a universal term for anything.
Oh, okay.
Like green, yeah.
Yeah, so like
new.
I mean, even when they're like kind of like that a little bit, they still find ways to kind of promote you, especially if you have like a good social media background already. Like that one girl who was in, she was in Ultimate, not Ultimate Warrior, but that ninja show, the Ultimate Ninja show, that Casey Carstanzo.
Yeah.
Like she had a good Facebook or even media attention to her because she was like a woman who won that obstacle course. Now she's in, I guess you could say professional wrestling, right? NXT.
I'm not too familiar with her. I mean, I don't watch NXT as much as like as much as I should be watching it. But
Okay.
yeah, and they do a good job of trying to market even the like new people. I think with wrestling, one of the best people who I can think of who isn't really great at wrestling, but you know, he's a moneymaker. Like it's Goldberg. Goldberg and Hulk Hogan. Well, Hulk Hogan's a little bit different in the story, but Goldberg is, like he wasn't trained to be a wrestler. I mean, he maybe went to train for like a minute, but then they put it on TV right away because he was trying to, he was doing football at the time, but there was, I guess, I'm not 100% on everything. I mean, this was from what I know is Goldberg got hurt in football, so he was trying to find something else to do. And wrestling was there, and that's why he only has like 5-minute matches. All he does is gore people. Like he spears and does this jackhammer, and that's why his matches are so quick. But the thing is about him is they promoted him as the way he did because they knew that if they wrote his story a certain way, and which they did a good job with it, showing that he's this monster, he's undefeated. They'll make a lot of money with him, and like he beat the top guys, and all it took was the spear, and so that's why they protected him. They marketed him the way he did because he sold money, and they told the story as if there's no one else that can beat this guy.
Yeah, and he was like at the time during their primes, he was pretty like hot at the time, like on the top tier for someone who wasn't in like WWF at the time because there was like the major companies going at it, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like he was WCW's answer to bring up the ratings.
Okay.
Because WCW for a while the ratings was the only reason why I know this is because Eric Bischoff has a podcast called 83 Weeks. So for 83 weeks straight, WCW's ratings were higher than WWF.
Damn.
So, and then eventually and then DX started coming around, Stone Cold started coming around, The Rock, that brought the ratings back up for WWF. So, and that's where Goldberg came in, and because of Goldberg, the ratings were like back and forth. So, yeah, with wrestling, it's if you market someone well enough, you'll do good. I mean, that's all you need.
And like talk a little bit about your training experience too, because like I honestly didn't believe like for professional wrestlers their trainings, or at least the way how they trained wasn't as tough as it actually is, because like with MMA you're doing striking, grappling, you're like going against, if you have a good gym, you're going against like the best guys, world class fighters, and you're flying people in from all over the world, really. Like you're bringing coaches from Thailand, from Amsterdam, just like world class fighters. And like with wrestling, I guess they don't, from what I'm seeing, is like they don't really show that so much with like wrestlers like training in that kind of facility. But I know you guys train pretty well too.
For a while of wrestling wrestling back in the day was one of those hush things, like because it's back then wrestling was looked at as it was real. So that they never show that side of wrestling where it's like you'll see people getting trained. If there is any training, it was to look like it was a real deal.
Okay.
But with wrestling, with wrestling training in general, I mean, now that it's more open, it's more exposed. You see more of people learning how to take bumps, hitting the ropes, actually trying to keep each other safe in wrestling. The thing with wrestling training is it's depending on where you train at. I mean, you're still gonna learn the basics of training and bumping, but the mic.
Yeah, I'll just kind of like keep it more open. Yeah,
My bad.
I could hear the shirt rubbing on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, but okay, continue.
Yeah, well, with wrestling training, I don't know. I've never done MMA training, so I wouldn't really know the difference between there. But I think, from what my understanding is, when you're training for like something like MMA or boxing, you're training how to be offensive and try not to get hit.
Yeah.
But with wrestling, it's you're taking a beating. You're beating yourself up. You're learning how to properly bump. To bump, you gotta be able to make someone look good, so you have to bump really good. So you're gonna be either taking falls by yourself, like over and over again, like just falling backwards yourself, and you do that constantly until your body gets conditioned to it. And then you're learning how to also carry somebody a safe way or hitting someone a safe way, all to be able to protect each other and also to condition your body in a certain way. So it's a lot of beating. My training was like a 12-week course. Other schools are all different depending on where you go. But my training at the House of Truth, it's 12 weeks. It's the first week all you're learning is bumping and hitting the ropes. Those ropes are hard, so you gotta learn how to. The thing is you have to hit those ropes as hard as you can, and they're majority of the places you go to it's actually cable taped wrapped around tape.
Okay.
So it's like it's hard cable. So as I imagine running in hard cable. WWE, from what I heard, it's actual ropes.
Oh, so it's not as hard.
Right. I mean, I don't know. It probably hurts as much. I mean, they're tight. You're tightening them. So, but that's a part of training. You're learning how to hit. You're learning how to condition your body to that pain, to absorb all that, and also to absorb it the safe way. You ever seen those circus acts where people are laying in a bed of needles?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. You gotta train yourself.
Like spread out.
Absorb that stuff.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it right, what's gonna happen? You're gonna get stabbed. But you're gonna hurt yourself with that bed of needles. So, with wrestling, it's the same concept. It's like, all right, you gotta know how to do these things. I mean, you're gonna get hurt, but you're gonna. It's weird to say it. The safe way of getting hurt.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that I guess a lot of people don't really see either too, is like whenever we were watching events like at your house too, like you point out like you see what they did there, like that's wrong. They're just supposed to keep each other safe. A lot of people don't see that wrestlers, they keep each other safe because that's their job security. They have to be able to keep going on with the show, because if someone really gets hurt, then they got to improvise on the spot and all that.
Yeah, like my trainer usually says, like, with wrestling, we're trusting each other. It's there's an agreement with each other, that we're gonna go out there, we're gonna kick each other's asses, but I gotta trust you to be able to take care of me in the ring.
Yeah.
Like if you were to pick me up for a body slam, if you wanted to, would you be able to break my neck?
I think anyone could, really.
Yeah, anyone could. So I gotta trust you now. Like, I gotta trust you that you're not gonna
won't
break my neck.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like those kind of like that kind of stuff really. That's what intrigued me the most about the whole professional wrestling scene, is how they were able to do those kind of, I guess, like stunts or skilled moves, and like still keep each other safe. Because like the way how they show it on TV and stuff, like it looks like, they're excellent at portraying as if like it was really like a legit hit.
Yeah, well, with wrestling, it's a science. Like, it's a science. Like, what part of the body can I use? If you hit, like an inch off of something, you're gonna seriously get hurt.
Yeah.
Like, especially in the chest area, it's like there's safe areas. If you go too high, if you go any higher, like near your throat, you're gonna get hurt. If you go any lower, like in this what's this reason?
Your lower ribs, your solar
ribs, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I guess it's just like when you look at like kung fu movies and you learn about nerves, like certain nerves, like at this point is where it's gonna hurt the most. It's like, but with wrestling, it's like you're learning how to not hit those points.
Yeah, it's the complete opposite.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, I'm trying not to hit them. Especially when you see people do forearms like to the neck.
Yeah.
There's a safe way. There's a way of you could hit, like in Japan. They hit hard. If you're like watch Japanese wrestlers, they hit really hard. Um, it's strong style. I guess you could call them strong style wrestling. They legit take their forearm and like jab it right in the guy's neck, but in a certain safe way. Uh, but when you're in the ring, all the adrenaline kicks in, so you hardly feel it.
Yeah, until after you're like, oh my god.
But dude, the first time I took, because we learned how to take a shoot forearm, which is real forearm compared to a work forearm. It's like when there's no adrenaline kicking in, but you're learning how to take it just because you need to know how it feels like, and you're actually waiting for it, and there's nothing kicking in. Dude, that hurts like hell, dude. Like you can't breathe, you can't do anything. Like my one of the assistant trainers, he loved forearm day. He just goes, all right, I'm gonna forearm every single one of you guys and go pa 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 pa. Like, damn, dude. And what sucked is, for us students, if you don't do it right, you do it until you get it right.
Damn.
And so there's I remember in my training class, there's this kid. He's after training he quit. I mean, he wanted to quit before, but he was pressured to stay by I guess peer pressure by us, also peer pressure by his dad and all that stuff. So he was the worst one. I thought I would have been the worst one in class, but he was the worst one in class. My trainer legit came in one day and painted his hand red and blue because he didn't know the difference between left and right. That's how bad he was. So it's like, all right, use your left side, red. All right, okay. So we got it. But yeah, dude, that day for the forearm day, he kept hitting me in the neck wrong, and I was getting real pissed. I had to take it multiple times. Like, dude, just do it right so I don't die. I was dying. Yeah, that hurt. And then it sucks for classes because after I finish my 12 weeks, you can still come back. It sucks when there's one student in there, and they're taking everything from everybody. And there was one guy. I believe he's marketing himself really good right now with his video promos and stuff. When it comes to chop day, like what Ric Flair does, this chops. All day everyone just giving him chops left and right, and the end of the day his chest area was all bruised and red, so he took a beating. So yeah, so when it comes to the training, it's it can be harsh depending on what the trainers do. Some schools are a lot tougher than my school was, and I like to think that my school is probably one of the best schools around this area, the Midwest area. But then there are some schools that they're gonna condition you to the point where you're gonna want to quit because they're trying to weed out those who
who want to do it for real versus just joining in. Now, after your 12-week course, was that when you can just legitimately try to promote yourself too? The
thing about the House of Truth is it's mainly just trying you teach enough of everything to so a person can have maybe not the greatest match out there, but a good enough match to where they know how to do a match. Okay. Other places are until they feel like you're ready, you can go do a match. Like the Can-Am school, from my understanding, is you don't have a match until they say you're ready to have a match. It could be a year from now, it could be 2 years from now. Some guys I know, it took them 2 years to get their first match. It wasn't like that back in the day. Back in the day, I was like, hey, just hop in the ring, and they self-taught. They got not self-taught, but more of on-the-job training, right
on the spot kind of.
Yeah, right on the spot training. I think I was talking to, I asked Ken Anderson or Mr. Kennedy, whatever and I had a chance to talk to him, and I asked how his school ran, and they do a lot of conditioning. And I heard Booker T school at now Texas is a lot of conditioning, and to the point where he's trying to get those who aren't taking it serious to kind of leave because they're out of breath, they can't take it anymore. They're just allow extreme workouts. So my school is just, all right, bump. This is how you do a sharpshooter. This is how you do this and that. All right, do it until it looks good enough to where we can move on to the next thing. Other schools are, all right, today I feel like teaching us this, teaching us that. All right, cool.
Now, I remember one year too, like where you brought your wrestling place to, like, was it the soccer tournament one time?
It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was a wrestling. It's a promotion that I was working with at the time.
Oh, not your school though.
No, it's not a school.
Oh.
It's a school is just where you train. It's like going to your gym. It's just where you go and train like and everything. But after you get trained, you're trying to get yourself booked at different shows. This show just happened to. So the idea of with the Hmong tournaments, it was a week before they had a show at Centerline High School, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I lived here and I knew people here at Centerline. That went to that. I knew people that goes to that high school and the people around there, and essentially I was like promoting myself. Hey, I know people that go to the school. I can bring in Hmong people to the school, and then I thought maybe I can promote this at the Hmong tournament because there's gonna be a show at Centerline High School. I know people, and they're gonna be at the tournament. So what if I go out there and do a little like a little backstage segment or like on stage, not really a match or anything, just kind of like do a promo back and forth between somebody.
Okay.
And then the Hmong community took it as, oh yeah, you can bring all your people and you guys can do your show there. I'm like, okay. So
Man, I remember when you did that too. I saw it on Facebook, but I think that year I didn't go. I wish I went. I wanted to see that.
It was a last minute deal thing too. Like I talked to a promoter and he because I guess I put in this idea that I could sell tickets for him. It would be good to promote his show at Centerline High School, which it did a good job. I sold a bunch of tickets.
Nice.
So all right, cool. So we did that. I for the week, I had to find money to be able to rent, pay for his trans and everything, and the rent, the ring and everything, and it was like all week's planned thing, and I thought it was pretty good turnout. There's other reasons why we haven't done it like the next few years, but yeah. So we did that. We did do that at the tournament, and I think everyone at the tournament loved it. Next year though, we're probably because I'm not retiring right now, but I'm planning actually if right now I'm in talks with Jackson Chang. He's like the president of the Hmong United.
Oh, okay, yeah, the United Hmong group.
Yeah, so he's like we can do it, but it's just about like all the legal stuff, all the
contracts,
liabilities and everything, and like, well, that's no problem. Like we'll sign waivers, we'll get these waivers legalized. So if anything happens, like if someone was to get hurt,
it's not on them.
It's
or
not on
the
them.
venue or something like that.
Yeah, it's a common thing. Like I think I didn't have to sign too many waivers when I was wrestling, but like there are places where we did sign a waiver just to let the venue know that they're not responsible if we get hurt.
Yeah,
I think there's that contract for wrestlers. Like it's not really. It's like I guess it's an unwritten agreement between wrestlers. Like if you get hurt, you can't blame, like.
Yeah, because you wanted to be in.
Yeah, you can't blame anybody.
Yeah.
So.
The same thing goes for MMA too. Like you can't blame your opponent for whooping your ass because you're gonna go in there and kill him too.
And that's also a thing too. Like if you're a fan and you jump over that barricade, you probably
that's
seen
on
it.
you, dude.
That's on you.
Yeah.
Like legally, like they can kick your ass if they wanted to because you try getting involved.
I think you sent me a video of that, right? Where I forgot which wrestler it was, but like the guy jumped over the barricade and he went in the. Oh no, it was for someone's award show, right? And then
Bret Hart. Yeah, Bret Hart got attacked and they beat his ass.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so many videos out there of wrestlers beating each other's ass. Also, they're trying to protect each other. Each other. So you don't know what the guy has, and people gotten seriously hurt because they try to get involved. There was actually one wrestler who was pissed off that this is a story I heard. So I know who it is, but I'm not gonna say names.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah. So everyone in Michigan knows who it is and what happened. So but my understanding is, dude was mad he didn't get booked on the show, so he sat in a crowd and started like breaking kayfabe, kind of like being an idiot, drunk idiot, and then the guy, the promoter, and they were really really pissed. So they're like, all right, hey, just tell him to come back here, say, hey, we got an idea for him at the next show. So I guess what happened is he got back there, they bagged his head and started beating the shit out of him, and he called the cops, right? He called the cops, and they're like he wanted to get involved in the show, and the cops were like, plus the cops know he was really drunk and probably pretty high, and like looks like you asked for it, so
Yeah, you can't do
you
nothing.
can't do
about
anything.
It. Yeah.
You asked for it, so yeah. I mean, if there's that written agreement that like if you're gonna get hurt, if you get hurt, you can't. The venue is not liable. Even the promoter is not liable. I mean, you know what's at risk. Maybe the only time it's anyone's fault is if you intentionally hurt somebody.
Yeah. Now, when you were wrestling, did you know any other like Hmong people that were into that sport at all?
There was one guy before me. He actually lives in Lansing. Jason Yang. He's actually my aunt's cousin.
Okay.
He did wrestling for a while. He actually even had his own wrestling ring in his barn, from what I was told. And I've been trying to get him out too whenever I was involved, and we've been contacting each other, trying to work something out. And because we thought maybe it'd be cool if we had first time ever 2 Hmong wrestlers wrestling each other, and first ever. This is one of those first ever things.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like with Hmong people being in, or at least like. You don't hear that at all. Like, in professional wrestling, really.
So yeah, it's either
because like there's Japanese wrestlers, but you don't hear like a Chinese wrestler or Korean wrestler, let alone a Hmong wrestler.
Yeah, people in general don't really like. It's either they're low key fans or they don't ever think that they want to they don't know where to go. But for us, we know we're Hmong, and it's it's a big deal to us, but to everyone else, it's like it's just 2 Asian guys wrestling each other. And whatever.
Yeah.
That's why I thought maybe we can work something out and promote it at like a tournament, Hmong tournament or party event. That first time ever 2 Hmong dudes wrestle each other, and it just never worked out. We both, I ended up leaving wrestling to pursue other stuff, and he's just kind of, he has family and he's trying to take care of that stuff. He's had the itch a few times and of wanting to come back, but stuff never worked out for us at the same time.
Okay.
But it's still possible. I mean, I'm planning it. But the tough thing too is, probably transition to something that you want to talk about. It's
no, you can keep going.
No, it's going to transition to a different topic that I know you want to talk about. That's one of the things too I learned. Like one of the wrestlers, because one of the things that I wanted to do the most was trying to get all the support from Hmong people. Like I wanted to wrestle in front of Hmong people all the time.
Yeah, I mean
but
that's what I wanted to talk about too.
Yeah.
Was the whole support thing was remember that time when you was it at the Kobo Center, right, where you were part of that marching group and you had the mask on, and that picture kind of went viral for a little bit, or at least in the Hmong community, and they were talking mad shit to you too, why is this skinny Asian kid in the wrestling
Kobo
team?
Center.
Was it the Kobo Hall?
No, I didn't get to go to that.
But you know what event I'm talking about, right? Where you had that masquerade mask.
I'm not sure if I was that. I don't know who told you I was that person, but no. I was trying to, yeah, I was. There was a gimmick that promoter was trying to do, an intruder gimmick. I don't remember if that was. Did that go viral?
Was that not exactly viral, but you had quite a few hits on it, and people were sharing it, and he had some good feedback. Where wow, there's a Hmong wrestler out there, and then people were just talking shit about your physique and everything. We're why this guy's too small, he's too scrawny. Who fucking cares?
Well, I mean, for Hmong communities can always do that, but I think I remember I posted something, I shared something, and people were excited about it. I mean, obviously, there's no matter how good or bad of something you do, someone's always gonna, because it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And the thing is, everyone's gonna expect something different, and that's one thing. One of the guys that helped me out in wrestling was, dude, one thing I don't like is that you're always focusing on just one group of people. Dude, you got a whole bunch of people that you can try to get over on your side, but you're just focused on one community, which you're not always gonna get your back.
And it's always about how you market yourself.
Yeah,
right?
because I went to Wisconsin because I thought Wisconsin and Minnesota are the 2 biggest, and also California are the 3 biggest states for Hmong people, right? So I thought if I go to Wisconsin, I could try to draw an audience, and I made a joke of myself there. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, I made a joke of myself. They, for one thing, they had a. I thought I would, because I promoted it, all over, Wisconsin Hmong Post and everything. No one showed up. no Hmong people showed up.
But you did your part of promoting.
Yeah,
It's
I did
just
my
the
part.
turnout of if people were interested.
The reason why I said I made a joke of myself for it was because I tried something. I probably shouldn't have tried a different gimmick.
Oh, okay.
I tried something different at a show that I probably should just been, what my usual self. I tried something different. No one showed up. The promoter also put me on a flyer.
Oh shit.
So it's like I made a joke of myself there.
Yeah, you carry that responsibility because you're on the flyer.
So what I did was, for my entrance music, I saw Lavone out there and it looked stupid.
Oh, okay.
I have the match on my phone. I'm not sharing that match because
No,
it's stupid.
I'll probably watch it after.
No, I think it's on my phone somewhere. I don't remember. It's buried. It's like 3 years old. So
Oh shit. Okay.
it's buried somewhere. I made a joke of myself. So I was embarrassed. I can understand if the promoter never wants me back because of that. No one showed up. I mean, there was a big crowd, but no one that I was trying to get there showed up.
Yeah. Now,
So-
speaking of the whole support from the Hmong community, especially in Wisconsin, you'd think Hmong people would show up. You recently had something along those lines with someone on social media, it wasn't so much of an argument. It was supposed to be a logical debate.
I
right?
don't think it was like I don't even like to think of it as like a debate or an argument or beef or I mean everyone's gonna take it differently. But the thing is like because of stuff like that and also something that my uncle taught me about the film industry or just trying to get just trying to focus getting support from one targeted audience is you can't just focus on one targeted audience if you're trying to make it.
Yeah.
Like the thing is trying to make it. Because my uncle Mark, he's in LA right now doing like stuff for film and stuff. And he's told me I shouldn't focus too much on Hmong people because look if you think about you and me, we have common interests, but at the same time we are also stuff that we don't have in common. That's everybody. Everyone likes different things. And just because you like on the post, it's like, would you want people to support you because of what you are, or do you want people to support you because they actually enjoy your artwork or your work? And like that he didn't say like that. I just paraphrased it that way. That's how I'm paraphrasing it. And that got to me like, yeah, that's right. Because you think about it, there's how many Hmong people in the United States alone? Maybe 10 to 100,000 people.
It's quite a large group.
It's a large people, but
in
it's
the
like,
states alone.
But it's not anything over 1 million or anything.
Oh no, I mean, but we still have a legitimate big enough community, at least United States wise.
Yeah.
And the person you were talking with, I'm just gonna say it anyway. Like you were having this topic talk with a well-known Hmong singer who is technically internationally known because she travels to France and to Thailand and I think Laos. But then she has 100K followers and you have a good platform. So you and Yasmi, you guys were going back and forth. Now it wasn't directly at her, but the post that she shared, it was between her and another artist who was they posted up a sign for donations, right? And they were upset about not getting, I guess, financial support. And then that's when you kind of went back and forth with Yasmi on that shared post.
All she wanted was $1. Like my cousin Rocky was like, all she wanted was $1, which you don't rant like that about fans who they might support you, but there's also some things that they might not be able to get behind on or whatever. But my thing was, I didn't. How I looked at that post was, all I ever wanted, I would just pretty much they just want support from just if they can get enough Hmong people to support. But I was like, dude, just don't focus on Hmong people. Like there's thousands of Hmong people, 100,000 Hmong people, that's not even half of those people like what you do. Not because
she's not talented, but because they like certain aspects of her content, right?
Yeah.
For example, her modeling pictures, there's a certain group for that, and then her makeup products, there's a certain group for that.
I don't listen to her music, so I don't know I don't know if, I know of some of the stuff she does. I don't really. I have her on Facebook, but mainly because who doesn't? Because she's like a iconic figure. But I'm not like I can't say that I'm a real fan of hers. Uh, and you know, it's like you can't just tell me to support you because you're Hmong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, that was a big thing too. That's why, from at least from my perspective, I was like, you know, you can't blame a community for not wanting to support you. I mean, like
And
what you had in that topic was like you said you have to find other ways to market yourself better, and to like even if you don't get support from this certain amount, you can find ways to branch yourselves out more for exposure.
yeah, and I think her thing too was, oh, you know, I don't get why people are all going mainstream and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, they want to go mainstream because they want to make a living out of this. Um, and you know, that doesn't mean you have to change who you are. Because I mean, look at like people like BTS, Blackpink. Those people are Koreans. You know, their target there originally was Korean people but they became mainstream. You know, they got popular and everyone listens to them whether you know Korean or not. Like,
Yeah, and the thing is too, like Korea, or at least South Korea, they know how to choose their target audience, like with how to promote their music.
So I pretty much was saying, look, it's possible. Like you don't have to change your roots because you know to be mainstream. You just gotta reinvent yourself somehow. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to change who you are. She was going on some other rants, but it's like, but that's not what I'm talking. I'm not talking about like. I'm not talking about
you guys
how
weren't
wrong
really
you were.
like you. I mean, you saw what she was talking about. It looked like
I
it seemed
knew-
like she wasn't like seeing what you were talking about.
I
right?
understood what she was saying, like, but I'm just saying, dude, like, you can't focus just on one group of people. If you want to make it out there, you gotta go for just more than one person. Like, look, there's, like I said, I was bringing up the numbers. You gotta look at numbers. Today, people look at numbers. Like companies, they look at numbers.
Yeah.
Disney, they look at numbers. They don't care if it's it's like if the views aren't good, if people aren't buying the stuff, they're just gonna get rid of it, even if people like it. You know, like I was like, look, Hmong people, maybe a few thousand people is gonna buy something from you, but the other people, you also gotta think about
The ones that won't.
the ones that won't, and the ones who are cheap. Like like people will find ways to take your stuff.
To rip off your material, and like you mentioned to her, like you know, people will rip your music and stuff like that instead of paying for it.
Doesn't mean they hate you.
Yeah.
They just don't want to pay for it. You know, and the thing about with how I learn, it's not just Hmong people, but how we see them is it's like, well, what's in it for me?
Yeah.
A lot of it's gonna be, oh, if I come or if I do this, then what's in it for me? I need something from this. And that's the thing. Like you can't rely on that. Like there are people you can't rely on just a certain people, and if you want support, you always gotta remarket yourself. You always gotta come up with something new.
You know, I was talking about this topic with some of my friends too, who were like, I have one friend who agreed with Yasmi, saying like, you know, she's a musician. How come Hmong people don't support each other? It's something that we should all do. Now, for me, my perspective, if that was the case, then Hmong people need to support every Hmong people who do something in media entertainment. That doesn't mean you have, just because you like her. I mean, like the way how he was saying it, it sounded like where even if you don't like them, you gotta support them because they're Hmong. Like, I feel like that kind of support is not real support.
Yeah, because it isn't. You're just helping them make money.
Yeah.
You know, like look, I'm not gonna sell Arthur's CD to like my 80-year-old grandma or
shout out to Art, because Art is a legit Hmong musician in the Hmong community. If our listeners didn't know that,
I'm not gonna sell my brother's stuff to. I mean, I can try to,
you can promote it.
I could promote it, but I'm not gonna go up to like an elder and like, hey, listen to this.
I got this stuff.
Support because he's Hmong. Like support this guy because he's Hmong. Like, no, it's like, well, you need to support because you're Hmong. Like, no, it's not that way. I was like, dude, like, we're Hmong people, like, we are we're our own race. We're one race, and we should help each other out. But that doesn't mean that we're all the same people.
That they're inclined to support each other. That's how I see it too. I mean, like, the Hmong community itself, it's a great way to start. I mean, there's lots of Hmong people out there, but it depends too. Like, you got to know what they like as an audience. Now, obviously, Hmong people aren't really like, overall in general. I'm just saying this in general. I'm not gonna say specifically because there's no real stats, but like in general, they don't really know with like the new mainstream media and how to promote yourself, and there's other aspects or different ways to do it. I mean, like for Yasmi, if she really wanted to promote herself, I was talking about this. I was saying, I was talking about this with someone at my home, I was saying like, you know, she has to find ways to sell herself better, like not sell out if she, I mean, if she wants to, she can go ahead, but like to, you know, she could do a podcast, vlogs with behind the scenes, make a tutorial. She can do a Patreon where she can find ways to push out content for.
She has a big following, and you know, if she wants support, I mean, she can have her own, like say a video.
Yeah.
And she wanted $1 from everybody, right? So, she was also talking about, oh yeah, we have millions of views, so we have. I don't know how she took that as, oh, she has millions of people listening to her stuff. I'm like, look, you probably have like 100,000 people.
The same guy listening to a million times.
I don't know where she was going with that, but I was like, so with that being said, it's like that means you're making money off of YouTube, because Arthur makes money off of YouTube, and David Yang makes money off of YouTube. That's how he makes his living right now.
Yeah.
You know, Arthur doesn't make as much of a living with it. He'll get something from it. Arthur doesn't post that much stuff on YouTube, but he's still getting
some sort of amount because of the views, and it's all like you said, it's all numbers.
So if you look at someone like that, if she really wanted $1 from every just post one video, and all the proceeds to that video will go to whatever she's trying to do.
Yeah, she and her and the other Hmong lady artist, I think her name is Dee. They wanted to, I guess their target goal was to preserve and to conserve and to share Hmong culture and language, right? And I mean, that's a great...
Honestly, I don't know if that was really the case, because from my understanding, they're trying to make a calendar.
Oh, that's right too. But like, she mentioned that to you though when she was, I guess, debating with you. I mean, if that's a target goal versus their calendar year projects, someone on the comment section said like maybe you shouldn't have said donations, because the people took that differently. Because someone's going to take that differently, right? Donations really are meant for someone to give to like a charity or to someone else's project. I mean, I think they should have just been more valid with saying like, here's your tip jar, you know, if y'all want to tip, that kind of deal. Or, you know, you gotta be firm. Like, look at the Comic-Cons that we've gone to, man. Like, not all the celebrities want to charge you, but they have to, because this is how they make a living. And, you know, depending on which celebrity you meet, like, for example, we're going to the one in, hopefully you're going to the one in downtown Detroit.
Yeah, that's a plan.
Yeah, and like we're gonna run into Rob Paulson. If you look at his price, it's only $25 to meet him.
Me and Mike, they don't want to charge people, but they charge it.
But speaking of that, Ming Chen from Comic Book Men didn't even charge me for a picture. I mean, you paid for it, but
well, I paid for it because I gave the money to the lady. If I probably would have gone to him, he probably wouldn't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I think that's the thing. Like, not everyone is exposed to what we do, because we meet celebrities at least once or twice a year going to these cons, and we're paying to support these guys.
Yeah.
Not everyone, like I said, not everyone's gonna want, because I don't listen to Yasmi, and I don't really follow her as much as everyone else do, and that's, you know, I'm not saying I dislike her.
No, we're not discrediting her.
It's just you know, you understand, like, our people, they don't know that side of the pop culture stuff. Like, if they were to charge, if Yasmin was to charge $20 just to take a picture and autograph, people would flip.
Yeah.
But if she was to, like, she does her, I told her, I think she marketed herself really well, especially trying to sell her, you know, $40 deck of cards. You know, that's a lot of money for a deck of cards, but people bought it, right?
Yeah.
And to us, that's,
some people bought duplicates.
So that to us, that's an equivalent to what we do at Comic Cons and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and that's, you know, if that's why you have to pick your target, your audience well, and you gotta expand yourself, because you're all right. These people are gonna buy actual merch, or they'll be willing to spend merchandise if my face is on something like this, and they'll pay for that. But they won't be willing to pay if, you know, I'm signing something or taking a picture. Obviously we do, because we're idiots, and, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess culturally it's different.
Yeah, it's culturally different. Yeah, and like I said, with people like us, or our people, it's what am I getting out of it?
Yeah.
And what they got out of it was have naked pictures of somebody on a deck of cards.
Yeah, you know what's funny though? Like, people on the internet, regardless, are going to either be trolls or take things the wrong way. So you can't avoid that. And so I think the way when they posted it too, or at least when they were sharing that post, for sure a majority of that audience took it the wrong way. And Like,
they're not gonna comment. Yeah, they took it the wrong way. It's like,
Yeah.
well, we supported you, but like now we don't, so apparently we're not supporting you enough.
yeah.
And after a while, like even Hmong musicians, like they're like even for Mika musicians, like after a while they sort of become stale. Not saying that people.
And for those who didn't know, Mika is a Hmong word for the
Oh.
general majority white people.
Well, Mika, American,
yeah.
but with American stuff,
like Western culture.
what's like eventually something becomes stale and like not saying they're not people are disliking them anymore or don't stop listening to them. It's just
becomes irrelevant.
becomes irrelevant.
Yeah.
People still care about. People still listen to them. Like let me think of a Hmong band for example.
Sudden Rush.
Sudden Rush. They were big for a bit. They're still pop. People still listen to their stuff, and they're still talked about. They don't push it for like how other people do, but they'll come out once in a while and people are gonna remember them because they didn't have a fit about everything like
Yeah.
but when you come to like after a while people, it's not like you're not forgotten, it's just people just don't care about you and they want the next new thing, which is why you always gotta reinvent yourself. That's why I brought reinventing, where I learned this from wrestling. It's like you look at some like the best example of reinventing yourself to still stay relevant is Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
So that guy, like, if you remember back when he was coming to WWE, he reinvented himself as the guy he jumped over. He did his little signature pose. That was his early WWE days, and then eventually as he went on, he went from there to the Savior to the guy with the list.
That's how I see him, as the guy with the list.
Because all that stuff he did it to be able to stay relevant. Because like after a while, you don't want to see the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, it gets boring.
It gets boring, so that's why he kept reinventing himself.
Now he's doing his music stuff too, right?
Yeah, and like that's why even like with musicians you listen to, you don't realize until you think about it, is like they change the look all the time.
Paramore's a big example.
Yeah,
Hayley Williams, like, she went from that punk rock to, like, I guess you could say technically emo rock, and
Yeah.
then now she's doing pop rock, and now she's consistently changing her. I mean, she still has like the bass style, but she's always still changing her, not just the sound of her music, but her look too. It's
Yeah.
consistently changing.
You gotta always give people a reason to constantly want to see you. Like you can't, if you give me the same show 4 times that I've come see you, then I'm not gonna come the 5th time.
Yeah.
So it's you always gotta reinvent yourself, and that's a little bit. That's part of some of the stuff that I was trying to say. Like you gotta reinvent. Like not saying that you're bad. It's just no one's gonna want to come see the same song over and over again.
And then she took it the wrong way. She was like, "I don't think you're seeing what I'm seeing." And that's when I started laughing. I'm like, "Bro,
Yeah.
he's helping you here." Like like if it really came down to it, man. Like if I was to ever meet her in person, what we talked about just now, like that's the kind of advice I would tell her. Like it's not that you're bad. You need to market yourself and do better ways to push out more content. Aiming at a specific target group of an audience is not going to pay your bills. You have to move out of that range, and you can't blame mainstream media. The reason why it's mainstream is because people love it.
So if it wasn't for the fact that it was on Facebook, because she did post on Facebook, I'm gonna say something.
Yeah, it's public domain.
But I'm not gonna say that to her like in person because she didn't ask for it. And honestly, if a stranger came up to you and started to critique you and you have no idea, you're gonna take it the wrong way.
Yeah, it comes off offensive too.
Yeah,
but
so,
I don't know. I feel like like I said, I'm gonna stick to what I say. If I ever met her, I wouldn't come off and just say it to her straight off the bat. I'd be like, hey, if you want ideas, like maybe this idea can help you out. I mean, she's gotta kind of realize where she's at too. She's not like at the top either. I mean, she's a well-known Hmong musician, but compare her to not even like D-list celebrities. She's not even there. Like you're popular on social media, but what impact have you really done outside of just your community? That's how you really branch out.
Like for outside the community, she as a model, she'll do well outside the Hmong community.
Yeah.
And that's how I knew her first. I didn't know she was a musician until like later on, but I don't know if she was always a musician. Was she always a musician?
I think she was, and then like what really made her break out was, and most people still give her shit for this too. It's just like her pre and post plastic surgery stuff. And at the time, people were like putting the before and after pictures, and then she had like a, like a baby daddy. There was like a time where people were like trying to expose her on that, like a bunch of hater shit.
Well, no, they do have Hmong
Yeah,
but
a bunch of petty shit.
It's the reason why I don't. I'm immune to that because I see it all the time with American media. So it's like, it's whatever.
To me, like it's so normal, but like I guess the Hmong people like I give her this credit, right? I'm not saying she's bad. She's not bad. To our listeners, don't confuse what we're saying that we're critiquing her. It's just this topic happened, and it was just something that we wanted to discuss about.
I'm just giving my opinion, and it's like if no one like I'm not telling you to
stop doing
it. It's just how I view things because that's what stuff that I've learned. I mean, I didn't make it. Obviously, they made it. They're probably doing something right, but it's like
I mean, these are our opinions. Like, of course, they're not gonna be like, if it really came out to it, they'd be like, y'all ain't shit. Why y'all talking anyway? But who fucking cares? But the thing is, like, she's doing things Hmong people aren't doing.
Yeah.
And that's out of the norm for just our community. Because, like, the Hmong community itself is so close-knit and, like, very 90s-esque traditional and not willing to break certain rules or drop certain traditions to expand and to grow and to adapt. Which is why, like, when that weekend I went to promote my podcast, a lot of people were like, what's that? I'm like, really? I mean, podcast is not new. It's just something that no one's really doing.
I like to think of us as like the black sheep of the Hmong community. Like, it's not in a bad way. It's just like, I mean, there's other people who...
We're more Americanized for sure, but like, we still want to stay in touch with our Hmong roots too. I mean, it's so funny though, because like, Hmong people give you so much shit for doing something that's outside of the like Hmong culture, but then when like Guailos, which is Chinese for outsiders, Guailos or Gaijins come in, like it's, man, that full on support to them. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like,
and when you go big, they try to take credit for it. But like, they didn't do anything. But
like it's, I don't know, man. Like this topic's super sensitive in a way because it's just like we're exposing what you could and could do, and it's people don't see that side of the media either, where the struggle is. It's you can't expect to stay relevant all the time. You got to, like you were saying, you got to constantly reinvent yourself.
Yeah, and like what work for one person doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna work for someone else. It's just for me, I see it work for other people. The way that I've been, trying to, I think everything that I'm talking about, it's like I've learned it from either from the wrestling business or even film. So it's like what worked for one person might not necessarily work for them, but this is just how I see things work. And if you're struggling because you see yourself at the same spot, then you gotta probably take my advice and reinvent yourself.
I mean, like it's the honest truth. I mean, you if you can't change or learn to adapt to what you're selling to who you're selling to, you won't make it.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, speaking of films too, what Spider-Man? What did you think of Spider-Man?
That was good. I mean, my team leader Juan hated it.
Oh, really? You didn't tell me that. I
he hated it. I was like, what the hell? Well, you didn't like it? But then he likes a different kind of film. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna. I mean, we joked around, but he likes a different kind of film because Winter Soldier to him is a good movie, but he likes stuff that's like Winter Soldier. Like with like guns and violence. But when it comes to I guess he did like Shazam, but it's not like Shazam was his favorite thing. But it's like he likes a different type of film. Me, I was like, sweet web slinging, all this awesome effects, and the story was cool and all that. I loved it. I mean, especially with the big reveal at the end and everything, which is cool.
I think it's spoilers.
Those guys didn't see it yet. But,
yeah.
But yeah,
to our audience members, that's outside,
hopefully they're not listening.
Like 5 feet from us.
But yeah, especially with the ending with Jameson and everything, like it was sweet. With the reveal, like I didn't expect that, but that did happen in Civil War, the comic in general.
Yeah.
In the comic in general, like it was. I think one of the things was, they reveal who Peter Parker was, and that's
he actually just reveals himself, really.
Yeah. So
I mean, that too was in itself a huge deal in the Marvel comics at the time. It's like he's the first one to do it, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I thought I gave the film like I don't think I rated it on Facebook, but I'm giving it like a 3.5 out of 5. I liked it a lot. My favorite scene was definitely the part where he and Mysterio like go at it. And that first scene where he gets like the illusions. I thought that was really cool. That was probably my favorite scene in the movie. And I think what made me not like it as much as people like this actress, I think Zendaya is terrible as an MJ. Like, that's not MJ.
Yeah, I like this take just because, like, for me, if you look at the original MJ, it's like I'm not saying that she's out of Peter's league. It's just she's not a match for Peter.
Yeah.
Like, she was horrible. Like, she's, your popular girl who she was pretty bad. Like, if you think back to the Spider-Man movies, like with Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Oh,
I'm just like,
Kirsten Dunst.
It's like, how does he fall in love with a girl like her? Like, what does she really do to, like, she was supposed to be the girl next door, but she was a bitch. Like, she was a bitch. Like, nothing went her way. She was always pouty and rowdy. Like, she was always bitching about something. She wasn't happy. It's like, how do someone fall in love with someone like that? It's like, cause she's like, that's why people like Gwen Stacy better.
Yeah.
Because Gwen Stacy actually had something that you could fall in love with.
Was perfect.
Well, that too, but like in general, like the way people you watch Into the Spider-Verse, like, it's a different version, but like, she gave you a reason to
like her character.
Like a character, and if you were to fall in love with her, I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah.
But if it was like the original red-haired Mary Jane, I'm just like, dude, like, why?
I mean, comic book wise, she is a great character, but in the films they haven't portrayed her well. But my take on like the Far From Home or the MCU version of MJ, I personally don't think Zendaya is a great actress as she is. I mean, she's a great celebrity person. She's a great star, and I think she does music too. But like, I get the hype with her too. She's pushing for certain, I guess, beauty movements and stuff like that too. But to me, I couldn't draw her at least as MJ. I wish, if anything, they could have given her a different name or something, make her a completely different love interest for Peter.
Peter's had a lot of love interests. I don't read some of your comic books, but then from what I understand, Peter's a whore. Like,
oh, for sure.
Yeah, him and Wolverine are big whores. Like, they sleep with everybody. Yeah, I mean, MJ's not the only one that he's been with. I mean, she's just the most commonly known.
But I did like their their interaction in the film, because I think, at least from what I read, it was like on E! Or some celebrity website celebrity news site where they confirmed that they were actually dating in real life.
They had that chemistry.
Yeah, so that's what I liked.
They probably started dating because of the movie.
For sure.
I mean, they met on set and they're like, cool, let's go out and whatever.
You know what's fucking crazy though? Tom Holland's only like 22, 23. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's actually older than, but...
And he's like mad rich.
Yeah. Well, the Stranger Things kids are rich. They make more than the average American a day.
Oh, dude, fucking Millie Bobby Brown, like, she doesn't have to do anything. Her face itself is a seller. Like, she could just post her face on a poster and she'll make money on it.
Yeah.
And did you finish Stranger Things?
I did.
I did. I recently finished it earlier this week. I think it was on last Sunday, because we came home early from up north, me and my family. So I pretty much binged it. And honestly, season 3, I thought it was good. I liked it.
It was good.
I liked it.
The thing is, like, season 1 will always be, a different type of show. Like, the season 2 and 3, they give you a different feeling. Cause the thing about season 1 was it
was like
felt
Halloween.
Strange. Yeah. Like I said, you don't know what's going on. You have no idea what you're watching. It has that Stephen King feel to it.
Yeah.
Like it was mysterious. You don't know what's going on. But now that you know what's going on, it changed the feeling for 2 and 3. 3 just changed. Like, for me, it changed the feel of it, because it wasn't like the other 2 seasons, but it was good. Like, I loved it. Like, the tone of it was a little bit different. Like, everyone had everyone's growing up, and you could tell that they're just showing the fact that these kids aren't like they're still kids, but they're not their nerdy selves anymore, which is why Will is always like, come on, man, like, let's just have fun like we used to.
Did you see that low key, like, I don't know, they say that he's a gay character, but they're like, where not Will, but not Buyer, what's the main kid, the one that's dating 11, I keep forgetting his name.
Mike.
He's like, like it's not my fault you like girls. You don't like girls, Will. They were like jabbing at Will for supposedly being gay in the show.
Well, I mean, he's still a kid. He hasn't grown up. I remember he didn't spend as much time with them as as they did, because for a while.
Because he was in the Upside Down the whole time.
Yeah, he was in the Upside Down. He was gone missing for a while. He didn't. I mean, they didn't have no more childhoods, but he's scarred for life. Like, he's scarred for what he went through. So to him, he's just trying to
be normal again.
Be normal.
Yeah.
He's adjusting to things. And the thing is, everyone has a girl now. They're starting to notice the opposite sex. Will is probably sheltered, so Will doesn't know.
Yeah.
Will doesn't know what it's like to be with other people. Like, everyone has somebody, and because he was always sheltered, his mom's trying to keep him safe. It's like he doesn't know what it's like to like somebody. At least that's. I mean, that's.
I don't know, that's a good way to take it. Yeah. I never really saw it that. So I didn't see it that way, but yeah.
That's how I saw it. I mean, I just came up on the spot, but that's kind of how I see it. Like.
Yeah, that's a good perspective.
Yeah. So he doesn't really know. Like, all right, well, Max came around, and who noticed, like, Dustin. And Dustin's already trying to grow up. Like, he's trying to be a big man, and Lucas, it's like, obviously he got Max, so they're both fighting a girl. Will's just like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to be a kid, trying to live a normal life. And then Mike has 11, so it's like, well, now he doesn't have anyone to do anything with, especially now Dustin has a girl.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, well, now I'm by myself, and I don't have a girl. It's not even. Like, it's not fair for him. Like, so he's kind of to himself, which is probably why he wants to play a game so much.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anyone anymore. Like, he's alone. Like, Dustin, like I said, Dustin's always with Steve. So he's alone.
And then now Dustin's got his girl in Utah.
Yeah, but that's a long distance relationship.
Dude, that singing.
Dude, when they sang that song, I popped, because like I grew up with Never Ending Story. That was like my favorite movie back when I was growing up. When I was like 4 or 5, I watched that one over and over again. I just rewatched it like maybe a year ago.
I've never seen it.
If you watch it, it's weird. Because when I go back to it, like I watched the first one. I tried watching the second one. I couldn't watch the second one anymore because it wasn't good. Like it felt different back when I watched it. But the third one was kind of it's just nostalgia. Jack Black was in the third one.
Oh, okay.
So it was a nostalgia thing for me. So like, but with the first one, like I loved it. You might not like it. It might be boring for you. I don't know.
I never grew up watching it though.
I grew up watching Never Ending Story. So. It was like nostalgia for me, and that's why when I was watching him, like Justin started singing, I was like, is he
no,
like,
he's singing the song.
Dude, I used to my late cousin, he's passed now. I remember when they used to babysit us back in the day. Like I would talk in my sleep, right? And I watched that movie so much to where I was talking in my sleep, and he was just like, I think I was talking about the character from Never Ending Story. Like, no, Sebastian, no, don't go, Sebastian. And so my cousin was just messing with me in my sleep, like with the Never Ending Story references. So I was like, that's why I love that moment. I was like, dude, this is the only. It's like Captain America. I knew that reference.
Yeah, what's funny though, in that scene, like everyone in the car, like Steve, Robin, and everyone, like when they hear Lucas singing, they all like look and like they have like this blank was like, what the fuck's going on? And like they have the Demogorgon in the back chasing them too.
It's like, come on. Like, you know who was, I think, Hopper. They were the most pissed at that moment.
Yeah.
They're just like, Hopper. You can see Hopper's reaction, like, oh my gosh.
Like, let's just get these numbers in. Come on, man. What
like,
the
hurry
fuck?
up. Like, great. And you know what? How I like that? It's because of Susie's the reason why Hopper's dead.
Yeah.
That's why I think. Because Susie was delaying that moment. If they had that few extra minutes, Hopper still would have been alive. Well, if he is dead,
Do you know that theory? Though? Like saying that like he was at the end scene where they're like
well,
the American that they are referencing.
I think that's what they want us to think. I have a few different theories. Because you didn't see him die. But he has signed to 5 seasons. So.
Oh, okay.
You didn't see him die. He could be the American, but I also think it could be Brenner, whatever his name is, the Papa, 11's Papa.
Oh, her real dad.
Her real dad. Because remember, season 2, the dude that she interrogated, or
Wait, you mean, was not her real dad, but the guy who was experimenting?
Yeah,
with her?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, remember season 2, the one dude they were interrogating, I think it was 8 and 11. They went, and she was like, "No, he's dead." Like, "No, he's alive."
Oh, okay.
So it's either him, or it could be Hopper, because my thing is, even though that the gate was closed, I think you can still slide in there somehow. I think, I don't know.
Maybe.
You maybe either he probably jumped down and went in quickly, maybe something grabbed him, or you know, he did escape and he was taken to Russia. So it doesn't. You don't know what it is.
You saw that meme where they circled the ladder. He just went down the ladder and left.
He probably did, and he was probably captured, which is why he was gone for 3 months. Or and the reason why it could be Bremer was, for one, the Russians were experimenting for a few years.
Yeah.
So meaning, maybe they were experimenting originally, and somehow Bremer was found his way into the Upside Down. That's my theory. He probably found his way into the Upside Down. They opened the gate a little bit. Bremer came out to give him more information, or it could either be he was still alive. He was always working with the Russians.
Yeah.
And he was the one that explained how their tech is. That's why they're keeping him alive. That's why he's like, no, not the American. Because
I mean, I didn't even think of it that far, but
I thought of it. Cause
yeah,
it's just.
I know you like the show a lot, so like, yeah, I know those are good theories, man. Because I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, so that's a theory, and like the guy from Podcast Detroit, Dave Phillips, he thinks maybe the way that Eleven gets her powers back is he sees her, or she sees him, and like she reacts to it, and that's where she gets her powers back.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna see her get her power back until maybe later on in the next season.
Do you think they'll show 8 again?
I'm pretty sure they'll come back around, because you don't want to put everyone in the same season like all the time.
Yeah.
I think from this moment on, because of the move, I don't think we're gonna see the other people for a while. It's like you'll probably see like half of them, and the other half will probably come in and out of seasons.
You know what's so good that they do for Stranger Things is they're so good at having multiple storylines in the beginning and then having them all converge at the end.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Like,
yeah, because that's eventually what happens. It's always Jonathan and Nancy. Like, you can't really separate those two anymore, unless they really break up. Maybe that's why they left, to see to show her dynamic with someone else.
going back to Steve.
And I honestly think maybe they will probably get back together.
Dude, Steve's the best character, hands down, in the show, man.
I don't think Robin is actually a lesbian. I think she was hinting that she was, but I think she's in love with Steve, because she was telling Steve that why that one girl is always on Steve. Maybe she is, I don't know, but I think she's just kind of irritated with the fact that everyone's fantasizing about Steve.
Yeah.
Doesn't really mean that she is. Maybe she's bi. I don't know.
They can do that. I mean, but like, it doesn't really matter either. I mean, her character was good too. Like, I think her character was the one I wanted to see the most in the show, because she was a new character.
Yeah. You know who I couldn't stand? I couldn't stand Lucas's sister.
Oh, the little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was annoying. I mean, she had her clever moments, but overall, she was.
I think that was her point with how annoying because she's the younger sister of one of the characters.
Yeah. I mean, like, I did like the fact that they bribed her with ice cream to go through the vent.
I don't know how she could. I don't know how she would be able to finish that ice cream. I can't finish something that big.
She got like a year's worth of ice cream or something like that.
But she played their system with samples.
Yeah, that was a smart move too. Yeah.
I don't know how Steve and Robin kept their jobs. I don't know how that store is closed. And I think that's like a little pop point that I think of. It's like, okay, they were gone for a while. Do they work part time, full time? What do they do? Because they were gone for like a week, right?
I think so.
They were gone for a while, so that the store was unsupervised for a while. Oh no, wait, did they close it? Never mind.
No, it was the day of. They closed
They
that
closed
night.
that night, but then it's like
That's when they went to the Russian site.
Yeah, it just happens that they were off those weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude that was the Russian guy that was chasing Hopper too. I think he would have been a good Terminator. He had like that look to him.
Yeah. I still don't know what his, like. I get he was supposed to be the big bad in that, but I was like, I don't know. His character just kind of seemed like I guess they needed someone to chase him, but it's like, I felt like it was just
Unnecessary.
there.
Oh yeah.
He was just there to give Hopper and the Winona Ryder something to do.
Yeah. I mean, what did you think of Hopper's letter? Yeah, I felt like that's kind of like I thought his letter was better than Tony Stark's letter.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't know. It just it was cool. It was emotional, but to me, it's just kind of like, did he really write? Like I know he had well, his mom helped him write it, but it's like, is that really what he meant to say? Is that really what he wanted to say to 11 and Mike?
I think so.
I think because it could be where it's like he was in the moment.
Yeah, like a heart to heart.
But then it's like, yeah, he's not having this conversation.
Yeah. I mean, like overall, I thought that moment itself, like just having his character not being written off, but to like show his death like that or apparent death like that. I thought. I mean, honestly, I thought that was better than how they did it in Endgame. Like if you're comparing scenes, how they did it, I think I honestly I like how they did that for Hopper than Tony Stark.
Well, with Hopper, like he didn't know he was gonna die.
Yeah.
But with Tony Stark, he did it as a backup plan.
Yeah.
Because he knew. So that's probably why it was different. I think with Hopper, it was kind of like like I say, like it was weird because that's what he would write in a letter, like a heart-to-heart moment. It's like he's trying to give the talk to 11 in a way, but then he ended up getting carried away with that letter, which is probably why he didn't say any of the things that he wanted to say, was because it was like
he couldn't think of it.
He couldn't think of it. He just got caught up in the moment, which is why he wrote what he did. Because obviously, why would he say, like, he probably wouldn't say that with Mike around. It's probably one of those moments where it's like, I'm with my daughter, I want to give you my talk.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know that you bought me for my birthday. You bought me the Stranger Things comics, which I haven't read yet, but I plan to.
It's just, it's pretty much what happens with Will.
Yeah, and I think Dark Horse was planning to. I think they were planning to do another one about either the doctor that was experimenting with 11 or the other experiments. That's what I've read online. But have you been reading anything at all? Like I wanted to talk to you about DC's number 3, that Aquaman panel.
You realize, like, because you last season issue 2 was you didn't know if he lived or died because you saw him jump off the boat.
Yeah.
Now it's confirmed he's dead. Like he's I like to say I just use the title of the book. He's deceased. He's the anti-living.
Yeah. I thought that was a crazy panel though, man.
It's funny, like everyone else that they teased like a moment like that, like lived, but with him, Aquaman, he's like, yeah, I'm actually dead. So.
And the way how the what's his Aqualad or Tempest, and he just inhaled the blood and he turned too. I was like, holy shit, that was crazy too.
I didn't catch that. I didn't realize that.
Oh, you didn't see that? Oh,
I mean, I read it. I just kind of like I was tired too. So
okay.
I remember some moments like Joker dying and
Harley shoots him with the gun.
Yeah, Harley shoots it,
and then the birds of prey, she goes after them too.
Yeah, I guess I'm actually really loving Deceased. I'm enjoying the fact that it's not with the continuity, so I don't have to worry about like. At least I think it's not with the continuity.
I don't think it is. I think it's just an event.
Yeah, so it's like okay, cool. Hopefully this event isn't as disappointing as Heroes in Crisis. Dude, I was raving about Heroes in Crisis, right?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is so good, and like, what the hell, man?
That ending was
like, what the hell? Like, all it came back to, because the second last issue was like, all right, cool, all right, something good is gonna happen, and then it's just kind of like a heart-to-heart moment with Wally it's like a Wally on Wally moment, and it's just like he changed his mind somehow in between that thing.
Yeah, and I talked about this too on a previous podcast episode. I like Wally's character, man, but like I hate the fact that they're using this whole time travel shit again. Like it gets boring. I feel like with time travel, that sticks better with Barry, and I think for Wally, I think it should be better to where Wally's trying to fix Barry's mistakes versus him going back and fixing his mistakes. Yeah. And like, man, come on, you gotta think about it. Like when they did Rebirth in 2016, they introduced him back so good. And you think
it was an emotional moment.
Yeah, and you think Wally West is gonna have some big comeback, and
they screwed with him. They pretty much tormented him. Like, and especially with Damien punching him in the heart, made his heart stop for a second. And
the Lazarus contract.
They really tortured Wally.
That shit pissed me off, man.
Yeah.
Like, Damien just busted his shit.
Yeah.
But Damien's such a savage though, man. Like I love his character, and I'm glad that they kept him alive and deceased because I feel like he's gonna be a major card.
Yeah, it's him and Superboy. They're bigger, so it's they're not the kids. Like they're teenagers.
They're growing up.
They're
Yeah.
growing up in this one. So because it looked as if their outfits don't fit them anymore.
Yeah, they gotta start. If they bring those, if they can bring these two characters, I feel like Jonathan Kent, which is Superboy, and Damian Wayne. If these two characters, if they know how to write these two characters well, these two characters will be a great way to pass the torch down to them.
Yeah.
To be the next Superman and Batman.
I think this is what Deceased is about. Because I think what they're gonna. I think they're trying to tease that it's a Superman story. Like, because right now Superman's the big hero that's still alive. I think he's gonna end up dying. Like he's gonna end up like a Rick Grimes.
Oh man,
he's gonna end up like Rick Grimes. But then and
Carl.
that's where Superboy and Robin comes in, and they're gonna try to fix everything. At least that's what I think.
I think honestly, I would go for that. I think I'd like that a lot because people look like I know Damien is pretty big, but I think people look beyond Jonathan Kent's character. I mean, I hate what Bendis did with him in the Action Comics, where he's grown up or like an older teenager. I wish they still kept him as the young preteen.
The innocent preteen who didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, I like that better because now forcing him to grow up, there's really nothing to see him grow from that. Mm-hmm. And then Bendis really fucked up the whole Super Action Comics to where like Jor-El's comeback and stuff. Like, I wish he stayed a villain, man, because they built that up so well too, and now he's just kind of there.
Yeah. Speaking of Superman, did you listen to the recent Fat Man Beyond?
No, I have not.
It was they have the actor for Krypton, the guy who plays Superman Grandpa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and come talk to the way he explained that story makes me actually really want to watch it. Cause
watch Krypton.
Yeah, because the idea of that story, which is with Zod. Zod is really a good guy, but because if you look at his mindset, all he wants to do is save his people.
Yeah.
But Superman is not allowing him to save his people. So it's kind of like, but I forget who it was in that. From what matters, he explained it as. But the thing is, like, because the idea is Zod is actually going to the past to save his people, but I forgot who it was that is preventing him. It's like because if Superman doesn't live, then if Superman isn't born, and trillions of people is gonna die. Like,
and this is in Krypton.
Yeah, Superman has to be born.
Oh, okay.
So, but then the thing is, like, now you're thinking about it, like, man, Zod is a good guy. Like, he's trying to save his people. It's just
he has a predicament that's facing him.
Yeah, it's just Superman's always in the way. Like,
what if Superman's the real villain?
Well, it depends on how you look. Like, okay, if Krypton didn't blow up, and everything that Zod is doing is villainous because he's just trying to destroy one. He's
trying to terrorize everything
to keep his people. But then it's like, but then you look at it this way, where he is going back in time, trying to save everybody. It's like, but then now who's the bad guy?
Did you see the Lobo for Krypton?
I saw like a few second clips, but I didn't really pay attention to it.
Oh yeah, I like that they kept the original concept design, but he just looked too scrawny to be Lobo.
Yeah. And the thing about these prequel shows, eventually it's gonna screw something up. Like, you have a prequel show, like, it's gonna end up messing with the continuity. If you look at I didn't watch the Sheldon show yet. This Big Bang spinoff with Little Sheldon. I
heard it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's just I think of a show like that, like anything that deals with prequels, it's like you're gonna screw something up. Like,
for sure.
Especially if you're thinking, because from when I looked at the trailer for Little Sheldon or whatever it's called, it's a completely different feel than
Big Bang.
Yeah. And like Sheldon as the character on Big Bang, but then when you go watch back, if you're gonna watch Little Sheldon, there's gonna be little stuff that it's like, wait, that is not Sheldon. Like, Sheldon does not. Cause if it's gonna be a long show, they're gonna show character development for Little Sheldon, but somehow he still has to end up getting to the point where
how he is
in the show.
Big Bang, yeah.
But like, so because in the show that we're familiar with, he starts to understand people's feelings and understand like
relationships,
and everything.
Yeah, they can't have him like do that in Young Sheldon and then like relearn it again in the Big Bang
they
Theory.
can't. So that's the thing. That was my. I think that was my issue with that show. I didn't watch it yet, but maybe it was good. I don't know. Especially with prequel shows, it's a little tough when it comes like if it's a show before an already existing show, it's like you're gonna screw something up.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to because you always got to go back and look at the original material too.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, have you been watching any anime lately at all?
I'm behind. I'm very behind. Because things at work changed, so I can't watch videos that I like I used to. I still gotta finish Dragon Ball Super.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I stopped at Tournament of Powers. I'm just kind of like.
They just skip to where Goku and Jiren fight. You don't need to watch the rest.
I'm trying to, because I want to watch Broly, because actually, I know you want to talk about the card games. I run a Broly deck. So I was like, I want to watch Broly, but it's already spoiled to me because I'm looking at like how cards work on YouTube and like how certain decks work, and then they spoiled Broly for me already. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Broly, he survives. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like because I know the original Broly. I don't know Bio Broly, but I know like the on-continuity version Broly.
Yeah, the original big ass.
Yeah, but
Broly.
this one where it's like, I mean, I guess
now that he's canon now.
He's canon, and Goku's like, hey, I'm gonna train you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, that spoiled it. Yeah, I mean, because I guess my cards kind of spoiled it for me too.
Yeah. True.
It's like the cards, like the effect, like, especially with Paragus. Paragus, like he tortures Broly all the time, right?
Yeah.
They have that neck, like my cards spoil that already. Like I assume that's what happens, and then there's people that I don't know that are on the card like that. I took out the beginning deck, Chila and that other.
That orange guy, right?
Yeah, orange guy.
Yeah, I forgot his name too. The old alien guy.
Yeah, so I know what they kind of what they are now because the card spoil it, and then like I'm watching these videos, like damn, they spoiled it for me. Shoot, but yeah, I haven't been really watching any anime. I mean, I'm trying to keep up with One Punch Man.
Yeah, the season just recently ended.
Which would probably be easier for me to catch up on.
And Attack on Titan recently ended too.
Yeah.
Have you been watching that at all?
No. I think the last time I watched it was when you were here watching it.
That was
a while ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah.
Like I got my right now my priority is One Punch Man and Dragon Ball. Anything new, it's tough because I used to be able to just take advantage of like being able to watch videos at work.
Now they won't let you.
Now we can't, and I'm like, man. So now I'm stuck behind. So that's why I'm like, that's why I canceled my VRV account.
Oh, okay.
I actually just recently canceled because like I don't get a chance to watch it, and if I'm watching something, I'm watching it on Hulu or Netflix. Until I'm ready to like rewatch Dragon Ball. I think by the time I watch it again, like all of Dragon Ball Super now is dubbed, and I'll probably just go back to watching it dubbed because like I started out Japanese and then like I got tired reading subtitles at work. Especially when you're trying to focus working, I put it on dubbed, and so I got used to the dub. And plus, I could tolerate the dub for Dragon Ball, because I grew up watching the dub first, so I'm used to that. So right now, from my understanding, because I changed my phone plan a little bit to where I have AT&T on my phone, watching AT&T, they actually have some of the most recent Dragon Balls dubbed on there.
Oh, nice.
So. And from the last one I watched was they're already in Tournament of Power. But the episode that I'm left on, because the thing with like TV streaming stuff, like especially with channel streaming stuff, they'll put in the most like 5 recent ones, and they cut like the ones like they take out some of the episodes like before that one, and then they'll keep on like the older episodes, but they're like in between. You're missing episodes in between.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So like the episodes that I'm stuck on are the in between ones, so I can't watch it.
Yeah. So, now you gotta watch it on Crunchyroll or something.
Yeah.
Now, did you reach the part where Goku went Ultra Instinct?
No.
Okay.
But then there is a card that of Ultra Instinct. It's an Ultra Instinct Goku card. Yeah, it's right now online. It's worth I think $400.
Damn.
Because its ability lets you win automatically if you attack with it.
Oh shit.
So it's like if you attack with this one.
And these cards are like more new. Like the game is actually pretty new.
People want it banned, but I'm like, I don't know if this card's gonna get banned because first it's rare, really rare, and if they're willing to spend $400 on that card, maybe it's like $300. Still, it's expensive. Then they're not gonna ban it because not everyone's gonna have it unless you pull it. So they're not gonna ban this card. They just did a recent ban thing but they're all they're not relevant to me because I don't use those cards.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're banning cards. I know this because of the Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, right, where they ban and re-put back the cards and stuff.
Yeah, because those cards are useless now.
Yeah, and like, are you getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh too, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I think now I'm so focused on Dragon Ball because it's a lot easier to like keep up with. Because with Yu-Gi-Oh, if you take a long break off and you don't watch the show, it's like you're not gonna know what stuff do and like.
Yeah, the new styles of playing and everything.
Yeah, I know the new style now, but I don't know all the cards. I know certain decks.
Oh, okay.
I know how certain decks run. Like I know my deck runs, but then like when I'm trying to play when I'm playing people online, you know, like I just kind of go with the flow. I don't know, like they're using the cards, so I was like, if the cards, if it's done a certain way, I don't care because if it's happening on the app that I play on, then I guess that's the right way of playing it. So I was like, they're beating me, but I don't know what card they're using. So it's like, all right, so I don't really. So it's harder for me to keep up because there's so many cards, so many combinations, and it's all about like, you know, you're
like
losing cards and you're getting rid of the strong cards just to be able to play another weak card, just to be able to play the stronger card. It's like you're chaining all these stuff, and I was like, it's just too much, and I still like it. It's you know I'll play it for fun. I'm not gonna play it competitively now that like I'm looking at how everyone else play competitively.
Yeah, there's some like decks where people can end your whole life in like 8 moves.
Oh, one turn.
Yeah.
Like if you're good at Yu-Gi-Oh, it's that's why trap cards are like kind of going away. People, I mean, there are some trap cards, but people are putting less trap cards in their decks because it's too slow. Because you know, remember trap cards, you gotta play it and then you gotta wait till your opponent's turn to be able to activate them.
Yeah, yeah.
It's people want like instantness. Like that's why hand traps are popular. Like a Karibo is a hand trap. You know, like play it from your hand on your opponent's turn or something to stop something.
Now, what kind of Yu-Gi-Oh deck were you building? It was like a Dark Magician deck, right?
Yeah, the one that I actually built is Dark Magician.
And you recently got the Dark Magician pop, right?
Yeah, it's behind you. But
okay.
Other way, by my head.
Okay.
Buying Kaiba and Yugi and Blue Eyes. I'm missing Dark Magician Girl, which is weird. They come out with Yugi and Dark Magician Girl and Kaiba and Blue Eyes first.
Yeah.
And then they just released Dark Magician. And I'm like, weird.
I was debating about getting Dark Magician Girl just because it's Dark Magician.
I'm gonna get her just because it's complete. It's easy to complete that set.
I mean, she's a common. She's only like $8.
Yeah.
And speaking of pops, I got you this too.
You didn't really have to.
No, I did, because that one day you went out and picked up what I ordered too, which wasn't a Funko Pop, but it was.
I thought it was Funko Pop.
No.
I thought I was like, all right, I'll make sure it's good because I know how you are with your Funko Pop stuff.
Yeah, no, I am pretty edgy on my stuff.
Dude, imagine if this wasn't the one that you ordered.
Oh, I had to check at the store too, and you know, Macomb Mall, they had like several of them too. I was like, what the fuck? I could have just bought it there.
I was at Great Lakes and they didn't have it. Oh, dude, it's so cool.
It's crispy.
Shota, yeah, the box is great, dude. This, like I said, Eraserhead, Shota, how to say his last name?
Shota Aizawa.
Yeah, he's my favorite one.
He's the Kakashi of My Hero.
Yeah, I just realized that I had the other one.
Yeah, that's why.
I forgot all about that. I had the other one because like
that's why I asked you if you had this one, or at least this version, because I knew you had that one.
Yeah,
or
I didn't have this one
regular one
because this one was hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he's my favorite one, and it sucks that he ends up like Kakashi's out of commission right now.
Yeah.
Oh, in the anime, I don't know about the. You know more about the manga.
Well, I don't want to talk about too much about the My Hero manga because I know you're not reading it.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
But holy shit.
You can talk about it when you're by yourself.
Yeah. Excuse me, but like the last issue, they kind of touch up on the villains more on their stories. Holy shit, dude, you gotta read it. It's so good.
I'll probably end up if I'm not lazy. Like I can still read comic books at work. I'm just lazy.
You know what's so funny though? Like I love my comic books. I love the DC stuff. But when I'm reading manga, I just can't stop. And then I get used to reading from right to left, like manga, and then I go back to read my comic books. I'm like, oh shit, it's left to right.
I did that once when I started reading Naruto back in the day in high school. I did that for the longest time and I realized, why does any of this make any sense? And then like it clicked in my head like maybe a week later. Like, oh yeah, dude, can't read it the other way around. Like now it makes so much more sense because I was reading it from like right to left to right. I'm like, why does that seem like it should be here?
Now, for like, are you planning to get any other like the Black Label books at all? I know they just announced like The Question. He's getting his own series or mini series.
Maybe just the one I'm more already collecting, like obviously Batman's probably done right now. I've always wanted that copy of that Joker one that came out a while ago. The one that
the re-release, right?
Yeah, the re-release. They just slapped Black Label on there, and now it's cheaper. I'll probably buy that. Probably buy it on Amazon. It's like $10 on Amazon.
Yeah. And
Harley Quinn one. I'm
getting that one for sure. That one I'm hyped for because I follow that artist too. So like, that one looks really good. And then they announced another Joker one. It was like Killer Smile or something.
Yeah,
like
and then I heard John Carpenter wants to write one too. I think he is writing one.
I think that's the one. That's the Joker one.
Is that gonna be? That's okay, but that's not the one that was first announced though. I think that's just.
No, I think that is.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's cool.
I mean, I'm not gonna confirm that it is, but it's definitely on Facebook. So
yeah, with the convergence of comic books being popular, especially Joker, everyone wants to write a Joker story.
I know, but the thing is, Joker and Harley, as much as people don't like them, these two characters are definitely like a huge deal in DC. Like they sell to the general public.
Yeah, like I said, it's like you kind of. The thing is, like with them, it's hard to. I mean, everything that Joker does is terrible, but like his idea behind it is like, people can get behind. It's what is pretty much from what the Killing Joke was like saying. It's like, what is life? I don't really care. Just have fun with it, or it's like how would I explain it? You of course you read The Killing Joke, right?
Yeah.
And how he's just kind of like, well, it doesn't really like all this doesn't really matter. It just takes one bad day, and I guess people can relate to
he's
that.
More like if this, not exactly fuck it, but then like he's just kind of like
honestly,
who fucking cares?
Honestly, I think Joker is what a lot of people wish they can be, but they don't want to be.
That they're afraid to be,
which is messed up to think about. But it's like,
no, I think it gives a real life taste to his character, because like he's someone that you wish you could be, but that morally it's wrong.
Yeah.
And I mean, like his character is forever one of the best villains out there, even to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And have you been I know I'm kind of backtracking a little bit, but back to anime a little bit. But have you watched Demon Slayer at all?
No, I have. Like I said, I haven't really watched anything. The last full anime I watched was Goblin Slayer.
How'd you think about that?
It was cool. It's messed
series?
up. I mean, like it started messed up, but then now I'm just more invested in the story on. Are they gonna kill these goblins? Because there really is no actual real story to it.
Yeah, and they're coming out with the movie in like 2020, which I want to. Hopefully, they come to the States too. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, that show's more on one of those shows that it's like, the idea. The guy hates goblins, and there's really no story because every episode's kind of like a new mission, and then like there wasn't really a story until like the last few episodes.
Yeah.
So,
Did you like that D&D twist to it too? Like,
yeah, that's probably why I got into it. Like. It's like, oh yeah, I can only use magic like 3 times a day. Okay.
Like, how much more mana do you have left, or something like that? And then like the whole metaphoric dice roll where he hits the critical. I thought that was freaking crazy.
Yeah, it's messed up. Like so the moment that first group went to that cave, I'm like, oh my gosh.
The first episode.
I was like, what the heck was going on? Like, I was like, is he? Okay, they killed a dude, right? I was like, they kill a dude, and next thing you know, like they're ripping off the chick's clothes, and then like I'm looking at the goblin just staring at what the girl character,
the priestess,
and like just staring at her like while he's like hitting it from behind. I'm just like, what the hell is this?
I'm so glad I didn't watch that at work.
I watched it at work.
I think. Someone I knew, I forgot who it was exactly, but someone I knew watched that at work, and they had to shut that shit off so quick. Like, oh my! I think it was my cousin from Texas. He was like, oh my god, he had to like turn it off.
Well, I didn't think it was his dad. That was like a quick second thing.
No, but it was just like something you wouldn't expect from an anime.
I did that with Black Mirror. What was it? It was, I guess it's the episode where they thought they were in a game, or
was it an older episode?
Yeah, it was like season 3.
Okay.
I don't think they were in a game. They were thinking they were killing monsters, but they weren't.
Oh, that army one?
Yeah, like, cause there's a dream sequence of him having sex with a girl, and then she was nude and everything, and I was watching that at work. I'm like, oh crap.
Did you do that with Doom Patrol too? That first episode of Doom Patrol?
Yeah, because the first episode of Doom Patrol, Brandon Fraser is like banging the maid, and I had to like, oh crap, I closed it right away, even though it was only for that little quick second. Cause that tells me I can't trust these shows at work anymore.
You know, it's funny. I have not even started that yet. I've been paying for DC Universe. I haven't watched any of Doom Patrol. I watched a little bit of Young Justice, and then Swamp Thing. I still have not started that yet.
I'm on episode 4. Swamp Thing's good.
I heard it was good. I'm pissed though that they cut the episodes to 10 episodes and then they just got rid of the show.
Yeah, there's so many different reasons. I just assume it's because, creative differences.
That too, and I read online, read an article that explained a little bit of why it happened. I posted it on Facebook some time ago, but like it was like a money issue thing, like just
that's
right?
just a rumor.
Oh, okay.
That's not really, because like they could just film somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I heard it was really good though, and your girl Crystal Reed, shout out to Crystal Reed if she ever listens to this podcast, and I mentioned her on the episode of Chin too. I'm jealous. When the first time Chin told me that he knew her, I'm like, you're lying. Like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, she lives in Roseville. Well, she lived in Roseville. She was just right around the corner from us. Right? Like, dang.
That's freaking crazy.
Yeah, dude,
I wish I met her though instead of Holland Roden though.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Crystal lived here.
Yeah.
So it's like she probably wouldn't want to come back for a while.
Like, oh, Michigan.
It's like, oh, now that I'm famous and popular, you guys want to... Nah, that's cool. I mean, I didn't know who she was until she was in Teen Wolf, and I loved her in Teen Wolf.
Yeah, her character was great.
Yeah.
I loved her character.
Her character's death was, like, so shocking for me.
Wasn't it because she wanted to leave the show, right? That's why she got killed off.
I don't remember. Probably. I didn't really look into it, but she did come back for like an episode, It
was like a flashback though.
Yeah, she was playing her like ancestor.
Speaking of Teen Wolf, that one kid from Teen Wolf, he was the kid from Superman, Man of Steel. He played the young Clark where he pushed the bus. He's coming to Michigan Comic Con too.
I saw that. Actually, the thing is, I haven't finished Teen Wolf. Luke watches like he watches The Office, but I'm still behind like half a season again. But
I kind of gave up on Teen Wolf after they locked up Derek's uncle again. Like when Scott and Derek.
Yeah, I didn't even know that they did that.
Oh yeah, they're I forgot I think it was season 4 or one season.
No, it was after that because I remember watching season 4.
Oh,
I stopped halfway of season 5. Like
it's like when they review Malia, that's the Coyote girl.
Yeah.
Her parents, and then like who she really is, and then like Scott and Derek's uncle go at it one more time, and then I remember that because the episode Scott was still an alpha and he could barely beat him. I was like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. The reason why I know that I'm halfway in season 5 was because like the DVDs, I have all the DVDs. I even have the last of it. Like
yeah.
Because in season 5 and 6 they two separate DVD sets. Like season 5A and season 5B, I'm on A still.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I know like halfway through. Because they split the season into two different stories.
Did they kill off Arden Cho's character, or she just left?
I think she just left. I didn't get there, but I know she just left.
Because I liked her character too. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Ryan Higa's dating her.
I know, right?
You're like, oh.
And you go back and watch one of their old videos where they were doing the singing bits. Shed a Tear.
I don't remember. Dude, I haven't watched Ryan Higa in such a long time. Like, I started watching Ryan Higa when he was doing his how to be an emo or all that stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then, like, he evolved, and I stopped watching him in high school. Just because, like, you learn to watch different things.
I think I stopped watching his stuff after the whole vlog era.
Yeah, they became
YouTube.
Now all those YouTubers they're
all
not
podcasts now.
They're podcasting. They're not really doing shorts anymore.
Yeah, the whole sketches and stuff kind of just died out too, which is weird.
Wong Fu doesn't even do anything anymore.
Dude, they do like, I guess you could say like a podcast. They do like a lunch break type of thing.
Yeah, and that's all they needed. They're done with videos, and they gain their popularity. All you gotta do is talk stuff.
I know, but they're so good at their videos though. I get mad when they don't make any like legit content, like their Strangers Again or that the one with Keena Grannis.
Stranger Again was one of my favorite ones.
That's by far my favorite.
Yeah, because it's like you kind of I can't relate to it, but then it's like you can feel it.
I mean,
you see it.
It's very general enough to where I think anyone can kind of relate to it too.
You can see it because like thinking back to like old crushes, and you're like, ooh, who they with? You know,
the stages of being with someone. Now it's like we're all sappy now. What the fuck? Yeah, I mean, this has been a great turnout, man. Like I told you I had a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, we talked about everything.
Yeah.
So,
Now, I know Mark
Mark wanted to be a part of this. But,
Mark wanted to be a part of this episode.
but this is to me. This is my way of saying "f you, Mark." No,
No.
no. This is just
If Mark
Nah.
goes to Cincinnati Comic Con, then I will, because I booked a hotel down there too. He's probably gonna sleep on the floor. But
wait. What day is that again?
that's September, like the third week of September, like 22nd, around there. I know that because my cousin's wedding is like a week before that, and so I had to like book my dates like very carefully. But I'm going there to see Jim Gordon and Lee Thompson, or Ben McKenzie.
Just watch and just be like last minute go with you, and I'll just end up giving you money.
Go for it, man.
Nah, yeah.
You and Mark can bunk together on the floor. I only booked a one bed hotel, so it's gonna be hard.
Sit on the
If he
couch.
comes for one day, then that's when I want to do my podcast with him too, because like he's doing his cosplay stuff and his I don't know if he's even training anymore. That's the thing. I want to talk. to him about
He's
that.
always hurt. He's like Rey Mysterio and Kevin Nash. They're always hurt.
I don't know. Like the last time we talked about his training was like he was, I hurt my leg. Like, bro, what the fuck?
It's just some people are just injury. They just check injuries, which just sucks. I mean, like I said, Rey Mysterio is like that. Like he gets hurt every year. Kevin Nash is like that. Every time he gets in the ring, he gets hurt somehow.
Were you planning to meet Rey Mysterio at Comic Con if he
No.
came through? No.
It's just kind of at the point where it's like, as another wrestler, you don't care. It's just another work. It's just another business.
One more thing before we sign off.
Nice.
Your experience with Rikishi and David Arquette. Talk about that.
Well, I mean, with Rikishi, it's kind of I was working at Legend of Wrestling a few months ago, and I didn't really talk to him. Like I went to make my rounds, saying goodbye, because that's the etiquette. You gotta try to say goodbye to everybody, right? So I went into the Legends locker room, just saying my
And you were doing your
goodbyes.
film stuff there.
Yeah,
too.
I filmed the whole thing, and Nasty Boy Brian Knobs. Do you know what Brian Knobs is?
No.
He's WWE, former WWE guy too. He is like, when him and Rikishi were talking, I guess they're excited about what happened out there, because it's like they were dancing with, it was Legends dancing in the ring. Bret Hart was there.
Oh, okay.
So, it was a moment where Rikishi was like, man, dude, like that was hot, that was great. For one, he was in a ring with probably one of his favorites too, growing up, or people he idolized, or like it was, maybe not idolized, because I think Rikishi and him are like the same age, Bret Hart. So it's kind of like one of those
Someone
Hall
you
of Fame,
respected.
yeah, someone you respected. So
Yeah.
it was a moment, and they were talking about that moment, I assume, because next thing you know, as I was saying my knobs, not my knobs, my rounds, knobs. Knobs is like, hey, we got that stuff recorded too. Like this guy, like he recorded it all. Like, it's like he could send it. Like, can you send it to me? Like, yeah, I can send it to you. Yeah.
You got his phone number, right?
I don't have his phone number.
Oh,
Just,
but
email.
you messaged on Facebook, right?
Email. Well, he added me on Facebook.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he added me on Facebook. But I exchanged my email. He gave me his email, and I sent it, the video to him. And then a few weeks later, I was like, Rikishi added me. He messaged me too.
That's freaking awesome, though, man.
Oh,
I think
that's
you
cool.
grew up watching this dude
Yeah.
on TV, and now he's your Facebook friend.
He's well, I mean, it's easy to be someone's Facebook friend, but he's active. He's really active on Facebook. He's a cool dude. Like I at first I was kind of intimidated, like, because sometimes you hear misguided stories about some certain people.
Yeah.
Maybe you just heard it from like the wrong source about the wrong person. So I thought that he was gonna be, maybe he is, I don't know. This is just my experience with him. But he was cool. He was great. When I was invited to the after party at the hotel.
Nice.
I went, and that's where I talked to him for a little bit. I'm like, hey, don't ever do this, because you're trying to be kind of professional, and it's like, hey, but can we take a picture? And I don't ever do that, but I did. So I did that, and I took a picture of his nephew too, because he wants to get his nephew somewhere.
Oh, is he
So-
a pretty big guy too?
Yeah, the thing, because the Samoan wrestlers, like Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
They're all related. They're all cousins and family. They're all legit cousins. So
Oh, I didn't know that. Rikishi's related to The Rock too?
yeah, they're family.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they're all so he wanted me to send footage of his nephew, Umaga's son.
Oh, okay.
Umaga's he looks just like Umaga.
Oh,
Yeah. So he wanted footage so he can they can put something together and send it off.
Try to promote him and stuff.
So that's my interaction with him, and yeah, it was cool. David Arquette, he was cool. Him and Ken Anderson, they actually started this feud. This feud was like kind of it started on Twitter. Like it was actually it was planted on Twitter, or online or interview about like Ken Anderson talking shit about David Arquette about what kind of joke he is to the wrestling business and everything, and then so this match for the Legend of Wrestling was a grudge match, because they hate each other supposedly. Like they're just building up to this match.
So David Arquette was in the ring too.
Yeah, because he's trying to redeem himself from the failure that because he's considered a failure for that little publicity stunt from the Rated Rumble movie that came out with WCW.
Yeah.
So it wasn't well liked, from wrestling fans, and people hated him for it, and especially when he won, because he's a world champ too. They gave him the championship belt in WCW. So he was just trying to redeem himself in a way. He's also filming this documentary of his coming back to WWE, which his people was talking to me about. Hey, can we get your footage too, and we'll credit you in this documentary? I'm like, yeah.
So your name's in that documentary.
Yeah, I mean,
nice.
So like, cool.
Yeah, because he sent us the video, like the clip release where your angle was at. So, I mean, that's fucking cool, dude. But like, what you're going through with your whole, with your film degree and everything, man. Like you're slowly building yourself up with that resume.
Yeah, it's all about who you know. And David McCurry's cool. Like I do, like I said, I don't mark out with wrestlers as I used to, like fan out to wrestling, like wrestlers like I used to, just because you're told, just. You can, but
I would be terrible.
Just to kind of
freak out every time.
Just to kind of keep it at a cool level, like professional level. I'm like, hey, dude, I just to let you know, I was a huge fan of Ready to Rumble. Like, I don't care what people say, because it was a nostalgia thing for me. Like I was 12 years old when that movie came out, so anything to me was good, and it's wrestling, And I loved Eight-Legged Freaks, That movie was, to me, Scarlett Johansson's in that.
Yeah.
So it's like I liked it because I remember the box cereals. They have those games and toys and stuff in it. It had a Eight-Legged Freaks promotion in there with the game.
Oh, okay.
Online, so I played it all the time because obviously I lived out in the boonies. There's nothing there, so yeah, I watched Eight-Legged Freaks because of that game. So and I liked it. I mean, it's not as great as if you go back and watch it now, but it's still good to me.
I mean, I consider that film something like anyone in the '90s grew up with that.
It's nostalgia for me. And
yeah.
then he was in Scream for a while. So and he also was in Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
It wasn't good. I didn't like it.
Oh, that movie was terrible though. Terrible.
It wasn't. It wasn't meant for us. It wasn't meant for kids. My brothers, they liked watching because it's nostalgic for them. But yeah, that movie was. I don't think he took it serious. Cause his acting wasn't really great in that movie. Like he just didn't take it serious. What's funny is a fan was trying to troll him at a wrestling show, and he was just like, "You're just doing this because you're broke," and he goes, "I got friends money, you bitch." I know, it's funny. I was like, "That's cool."
Yeah, technically he still gets paid because of the residuals because he was in that show,
and also he's Courtney Cox's ex-husband. So
yeah.
So I mean, he's not broke.
No, any celebrity that is a has-been. I don't believe that they're ever broke.
They have enough money to.
Yeah.
That's why I don't act as much anymore. They have enough money. Dude, his new wife, is hot. Like hotter than Courtney Cox.
I believe that because Courtney Cox looks scary now.
Like he was telling her, right, like everyone was talking about his wife. Dude, when we got to the arena, people were asking to take pictures with my wife.
But she's not like super old, right?
No, she looks young. She was the one that came to me about the footage. I have her email.
Oh, nice.
So she was the one that contacted me. So.
Hey, girl. No, okay.
No, dude. Nah. No, but that was just cool moments for me. Like, I'm expanding, so I'm trying to. You just gotta know the right people.
No, yeah. I mean, you're doing a really good job, really, for your field. I mean, you have a good passion for it, man. Like you're really into your camera work and like your camera material, especially when you buy your new add-ons to your camera. It's like a new DLC for a game. Like, oh my god, look what I got! Like it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and I barely use it. Yeah, it's like you buy stuff, you barely use it. And like, I mean, I'll use it eventually. I was even thinking about selling my GoPro. I barely use it, but I'm gonna keep it around.
Now, do you have anything you want to plug before we sign off at all?
I think Chin plugged in Clean Slate, so Clean Slate. Other than that, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to plug because I don't. All I do is besides playing card games, playing board games, video games, is Clean Slate. Clean Slate production. Every second Tuesday of the month, we're at the Film Mixers in Roy Oak. Free parking. Oh, we're not free parking. Free event. Pay for parking, unless if you go and do the Imagine Theaters loyalty program.
Yeah. Now, do the Film Mixers? Is there like a Facebook page, or are they just events? Because I tried to tag them last time, but I couldn't.
It's the events, but then it's under the Royal Star Film Festival.
That's an actual Facebook page.
Yeah, I believe so. But then the event mixers are always made as an event because it's a different event every month. We were at the Imagine Theaters for a bit. And then they knocked the part that we were doing stuff out to add the IMAX screen. Which you've been in that IMAX theater before.
Yeah, we went to watch Shazam.
Yeah, that was so cool. Like, IMAX is great.
Dude, I almost fell asleep in that chair. I didn't even want to watch the movie anymore. I was too damn comfortable.
Comfortable. Like, I watched Endgame in that theater. Like, it was cool.
I would have knocked out watching Endgame. Endgame's fucking long. I would have KO'd.
But then, like, the seats were cool. The Dolby Atmos sound was, like, awesome. Like, you could hear, because when we watched Shazam, like, we watched Shazam in that theater and then watched Shazam, like, in a regular theater. Dude, like,
huge difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
Like, the sound was so different. Like, dude, why doesn't it sound good?
Like, I can't go to regular theaters.
I can't. Like, dude, it doesn't sound like it. It was a huge difference. But yeah, so the Royal Star Film Mixers every second Tuesday of the month. The next one's August. This recording day is August 13th, I think. Yeah. If not, it's the second Tuesday of that August. So.
Yeah, I told Chin I would try to make it out. I really do want to try to make it out there just to support you.
Yeah,
support you
I'm
guys.
there. Cool people. You meet cool people. I think there was an actor who was in the Green Mile that came to one of the ones like a month ago. I don't forget what. I think it was like the Crooked Cop. I didn't watch Green Mile, but he's a Crooked Cop. So
I think I might know who you're talking about. He was like the blonde guy. Right? He's kind of blondish.
Old. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a Crooked Cop. So he was in there. He was there. So you never know who you run into, and it's a good place to network. And the thing about life is networking is a big important thing. So
yeah,
if you want to meet somebody, even if it's not networking, it's like celebrate. Like people ask, probably you and me, how do you meet all these people? Just go to the events, dude.
You gotta go to
events.
Events, like you gotta pay for it, man.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So I don't want to pay $10. Like, just pay for it.
I don't want to put $1 in the donation box. No, I mean, I mean, just a few more things there, like. Yeah. So if you guys, if anyone's listening to this, man, I hope you guys learned a lot from just what we talked about throughout everything. And I think this episode went fairly well. I was kind of nervous because I took a random 2-week hiatus because I was the week before the holiday, July 4th. I was waiting for that previous guest, didn't come through, and then I went to the holiday, and I wanted to podcast that weekend. It was like, fuck it, it's the holiday. So now I'm coming back to this week. I definitely want to get back into my groove of just podcasting. And, as much as I like to have guests on my shows, I'm just like, if they want to come, they come. I'm not going to force anyone. So, and one more thing. I'm going to plug Indochina Gardens up in Boyne City. They're in downtown Boyne. I don't have the exact address on me right now, but that's one of the best restaurants up there in northern Michigan. My uncle owns it, and if you follow our Pop Look podcast page, I was in works with talking with them about having them sponsor me. So hopefully one day if I ever go to an event and they sponsor me, they'll definitely be a part of that. So shout out to Indochina Gardens. Check them out. And for those of you who are listening, just continue to share and like our content on Facebook. Follow our Instagrams. The links will be on there too. Andrew, you don't really post much on Instagram, but I know you're slowly coming around back on Facebook again with Pop Luck, right?
Kind of sharing a few things.
Yeah.
Once in a blue moon.
And so just follow the content there. Follow Spoiler First Podcast on Apple Podcast and SoundCloud. Everything's either in my intro or outro of the episode. Links will be up in the descriptions and stuff. I enjoyed this episode a lot, man. Thanks for coming through, especially the last minute. So
it's fun. I miss podcasting, so this is cool.
Maybe in the future, like if I don't ever have guests or I need I just want to do another episode with another guest, I'll just contact you.
Yeah, just talk about random stuff.
Yeah.
Don't talk about me. I don't like talk about me. Just talk about random stuff.
Oh, no, I mean this episode I wanted to just kind of bring you back a little bit to, because people forget that you're the one who actually got me into podcasting. So, so this is episode 9 of not Public Podcast. Yeah, it got me feeling nostalgic again. This is episode 9 of Spoiler Force Podcast. Read your anime, read your comic books, watch your anime. I gotta work on my sign off again. Yeah, I knew I was like out of funk a little bit. So read your comic books, watch your anime, enjoy your day, and just continue to be nerdy and stuff. And this is Spoiler First Podcast. My name is Ricky. My guest,
It's Andrew.
And have a good one.
Happy birthday, yo. Our old sign off. Happy birthday.
If you enjoyed this episode, follow my Instagram at RickyVang92, RickyVang 92, and follow Popluck Podcast on Facebook.com/PopluckPodcast.